Yo, what's up, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another live thing I've read. Now, before I get things going, let me just make sure my sound levels are good. Looks like everything is good. Wait for people to come in. So, yeah, we got lots to talk about today. Lots to talk about. Now, first things first, again, congratulations to Whereas for signing but I'm saying now, the most lucrative deal by any sports athlete in history, I guess in U.S. terms, um, which is a contract is worth $365 million on 11 fight deal that runs for 5 years. Now, if you break it down by doing the math, that's 2 fights per year, up to 5 years just about, and Canelo's receiving a guaranteed $36 million for those fights, including depending if he can hit this bench strength on subscribers and viewership, he would get a percentage off those subscribers that subscribe to the zone. Am I breaking up, unbiased? How about now? Hear me now? Are you sure? Because I hear myself just fine. Well, what about right now? Okay, slightly better. Okay, let me try to bring the laptop up to me. Okay, that should do it. All right, much better. Still kind of choppy. Sound like RoboCop. Nah, dead or alive, you're coming with me. Okay. Alex Murphy. So, all right, let's try it now. That should do it. All right, now let's do this. All right, y'all. Yeah, it's the connection. That's probably what it is. So it's better. Yeah, what's going on, Io? I'm good, good, man. So we got lots to talk about, man. Lots to talk about. First things first. Let me break down the Canelo contract briefly before I get into the other topics at hand. As I just stated, it's a $365 million deal that runs to 5 years, and it's 11 fight. It's 11 fight steps attached to the contract, which means that Canelo would be fighting 2 times a year as expected, and he's earning a guaranteed $36 million per fight. And he will also receive a back end deal where if he's unable to attract enough new subscribers or viewers, I should say, to each one of his fights, he will receive a percentage amount off the subscription fees only if he can hit his benchmarks. That's according to the deal. Okay. And not only that, Canelo Alvarez gets the $365 million deal, Golden Boys also secured a deal where they're guaranteed dates from the zone. Okay. Now, this is the reason why I put part of this title the Deranged AJ Fanboys, because they're running around saying, hey, Eddie Hearn strikes again. This is an Eddie Hearn deal. No, it's not, you idiots. This is a Golden Boy deal. Golden Boy got the deal out where they got a budget and they got dates to broadcast their fights on the zone. And those fighters include Jaime Munguia and Ryan Garcia. Okay. I don't know why everyone's running around as if this is a victory lap for Eddie Hearn. First of all, it's not. Second of all, Eddie Hearn, by the most part, is feeling a lot of pressure now because he has a rival promoter that's on the same network platform that he was supposed to be the face on. Now he's got to have to find ways to deliver opposed to De La Hoya. Now, from my assumption, I think the reason why De La Hoya was in Oscar De La Hoya, I'm sorry, Golden Boy was brought on board because the zone need to crack the U.S. market, okay? After the HBO boxing fallout or collapsing, they need to find a promoter who knows the market extremely well, who can help them gain a significant market share. Who better to do it than Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy? They know the market very well. Eddie Hearn, I hate to say it, y'all, did not understand the market. He underestimated the U.S. market when he went out there and said that I'm going to show how these U.S. promoters, how it's done. I know this market better than anyone else. We're going to sign the top big name fighters. Majority of that hasn't happened. None of that has happened. So the only benefit that Eddie gains from this is that Oscar is now on the Dazn platform with Golden Boy. He'll be able to do some matchmaking with some of his fighters from Matchroom, particularly in the middleweight division. That's if Canelo Alvarez wants it, but and the reason why I say that is because he can fight Joe Schmo all he wants to, and he can still make $36 million. And that's another thing I know. D-Style and I were discussing this a little bit because on his live hangout, because he could fight a bum and still get $36 million. But what that translate into viewership and subscriber growth on the Dazn. Because I did some further math on this, because for the Dazn to hand out the deal that they're giving Canelo Alvarez, mind you, this is a Canelo Alvarez deal, excluding the budget they're giving to Golden Boy. They would have to gain at least 7 million subscribers, if that, a year, somehow, some way, to recoup the money they're paying Canelo Alvarez on his contract. So if you take that 7 million subscribers per year and you times that times 5, they need at least $35 million to break even on this guy. And the reason why they're only breaking even, because they've recouped the 360 because they recouping $365 million from there. Plus, they'll have to find a way to recoup from the back end money they're giving him as well. So with that said, they're going to need more. They're going to need at least about maybe 50 million subscribers, if that, somehow, some way to recoup the money, to make a profit off Canelo Alvarez. That's insane money. And my question is, can Canelo Alvarez draw that much crowd? Can he do it? I mean, the only way he can do it is he needs that dance partner. He needs that Charlo. He needs a Jacobs, maybe, and Andrade, maybe. I mean, obviously those guys are Matchroom fighters now, so that would probably be no problem to make those type of fights. But Charlo's a tough one because he's with PBC. But I'm just wondering, what's the end game on the Dazn here? Because to me, I think that the way they're looking at this is that this is a short-term investment, because they probably understand that they may not be able to make the investment back with Canelo Alvarez. Their whole goal is to make sure they get enough subscribers, take whatever loss they can get within the next 5 years, and then they'll recoup it by other streams of revenue. Because you have to understand, the Dazn is a sports streaming app. They're not just a boxing streaming app. Now let's make sure that we got that correct. Okay, their short-term goal is to get to the U.S. market, is to have a boxing platform. Their long-term goal is to try to gain contracts from the big ones like the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, the NHL, those type of sports organizations. But that's going to be a tough one, because those guys are so dedicated to those traditional broadcasting companies such as ABC, Fox, CBS. They're solely committed to those guys, ABC, ESPN. So that's going to be tough for them to do that. But I guess if they can show to those network companies, as soon as the NBA contract's expired by ABC, they can say, look at our subscriber growth. Look how much revenue we've made over the last 5 years, such and such. So basically, they could present a little balance sheet or something. They could present a profit loss revenue sheet that turns into a positive. But I don't see if they can turn that profit loss balance sheet into a positive with giving Canelo Alvarez this much money. But hey, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. My only concern is that will they actually make a return investment off Canelo Alvarez? I don't know. That's a very good question. To me, it looks like for the next 5 years, they're going to take a loss. Because to me, again, Canelo's not going to fight those. He doesn't have to fight those top guys that we would want him to fight. We would love him for the fight, but he's getting a guaranteed $36 million per fight. And I think that's more than what Floyd's got on his contract with Showtime. I think Floyd's guarantee was $32 million with Showtime, okay? And I only talked about Floyd Mayweather because this dude's out here hating again, as always, okay? And he, and again, just going back to the deranged AJ fanboys, okay? I'm not talking about AJ fans, okay? AJ fans are rational. The fanboys are not, because they're running around, again, I have to repeat myself, saying this is an Eddie Hearn success. No, this is not an Eddie Hearn success. Okay, if he can't deliver the results that they're contracting him to do on a 2-year probation, he more likely either they're going to drop him as another promoter on the Dazn, or they're going to slash his budget into a significant amount. Okay, this is the way I see it. after the 2 years is up, Dazn going to look at it and say, you know what? We need as many boxing promoters as we can. Eddie, we'll keep you on, but the only problem is we cannot afford you to pay the $125 million a year budget that we're allocating, the funds that we're allocating to you. So we're going to have to slash that budget either to half, or we're going to have to drop it by 30%. I'm just throwing it out there. They may still keep him after 2 years, but the fact is they're going to have to drop that. They're going to have to cut his budget if he can't deliver the results that they're looking for in ordinance to that $125 million budget that they're giving him based off these 16 dates on the contract with the zone here in the US to showcase these fights. So, and speaking of Eddie, he did say that they are projecting to get some more show dates out in the European market, which is, other parts of the European market, which is in Germany, which is a good thing for him. He's branching out. He's starting to become a powerful man to some degree. The one thing I want to say is that he did say that this deal with Canelo with the zone is going to put an end to Showtime pay-per-view. And Bob Arum has said the same thing too. And well, we don't know that yet because Showtime actually put up big pay-per-view figures against with Floyd and McGregor. And as I get it twisted, and I know they got the Showtime pay-per-view coming up with Wilder and Fury. Now we're not expecting 1 million buys on that fight. Let's make sure we know that's not going to happen. I would love for them to get there, but that's not going to happen. More likely, they're expecting maybe 200, 300,000 buys for that pay-per-view. Okay, which is fine because this is Wilder's first pay-per-view. We're not expecting him to do too much out of that. Okay, but if he gets over 500,000 buys, I'll be very shocked that he's able to do that with Fury. I'll be very shocked if he'd be able to get 500,000 buys. But anyhow, but some people kind of predict that it would happen, but I'm not sure about that. But anyhow, I just don't think. Well, Eddie's has said some things that has not come to fruition. So, like I said, you could say you could take his words as a grain of salt, but then again, you can't dismiss it. It may happen. Who knows? Who knows how long the pay-per-view market can survive? But I do know the pay-per-view market can survive with the UFC. That's not going anywhere because the UFC put on fights that fans are willing to pay for. And the problem with boxing, they don't do that here with the UFC. So anyhow, Floyd Mayweather, this is what he had to say. Hashtag TBT, Throwback Thursday. This is what he said on his Instagram post. He said, look, first of all, it didn't matter. He's replying to Canelo because Canelo had took a shot at him talking about Floyd once he could come get it. He could fight me on the zone in the rematch next year. So Floyd responded to that saying, well, first of all, to Canelo, it don't matter if Canelo ate PED steak or not this night, the night that he beat Canelo Alvarez, in a convincing fashion. He said, look, this is by far the easiest victory of my career. Conor McGregor was a way better fighter than Canelo's cheating ass, and I beat the brakes off him too. Now, it takes me 36 minutes or less to make 300 million plus. And it literally took me one night and one fight to do that, and it's taking you 5 years and 11 fights to do that. So really, who's still winning? You do the math. Wow. You know what? Look, yeah, I could be fair. Canelo did take a little shot at him, talking about I want a rematch. So be it, fine. But at the same time, Floyd is one of those guys who doesn't like it when someone is out there trying to upstage him in certain ways. But for example, he doesn't like the fact, especially with Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya, he does not like them or any of his fighters at all, period. Okay? And that's the reason why he takes shots at Thurman, because Thurman used to be a Golden Boy fighter before, they all left and did their own thing under Heyman. But the fact is that he'll find a way to undermine guys like Canelo Alvarez by putting this out. He's attacking them, he's attacking the zone. He doesn't see the zone to be a very successful platform for boxing. And I'm like, dude, he always does this shit. He's also undermining Wilder and Fury with this bullshit. See, you know what's funny about that? Some of these Floyd fans, and I'm not going to name who they are. Some of these Floyd fans are going out there talking about, it's great that Floyd's trying to undermine Wilder for his December date on the pay-per-view with Fury. But yet, when he comes out and does this to Canelo and Golden Boy, there seems to be no problem with that. Wow. And speaking of that, he put up a fishnets picture of Oscar De La Hoya in his boxing gloves. Oh, boy. He said, please leave any disrespectful comments about this dude, okay? I fought this dude 11 years ago, and I beat him, Oscar Golden Girl De La Hoya. Wow, okay. But, he's a hater. He's always going to be a hater. He never wants to congratulate anyone who may have seen him shadow him to some degree when it comes to financial success. Now, I'm not, again, he did make $300 million in one night. He did that, but at the same time, he's a guy who's trying to look for a 9-figure payday by fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov over there UFC, another crossover fight. And the reason why he's doing that is because his ass is on debt with the IRS. He's got gambling debt for him in here, and he probably paid too many of these strippers so much money that they don't need. They don't deserve, okay? But that's his business. If he wants to throw all his millions of dollars away on the strip clubs, that's his business. But the fact is that, dude, just be congratulatory for once for your rivals. Just do that. Jesus Christ, man. It's like, this dude. Hold on for a second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. So let's look at the chat. Rasclot, oh shit, is back. What's going on, oh shit? Yeah, Rasclot says, for my only concern is this, who in the hell is Canelo going to fight? Yeah, exactly. It's just like we don't know who he's going to fight. Again, he could fight Joe Schmo all he wants to and get $36 million a bum. He's getting his payday, so he doesn't have to, in his mind, he doesn't have to take those big fights like the Golovkin fights or a Charlo fight to get paid. He don't have to do that anymore. And this is why I'm wondering, is this a mistake, the zone, to give him the money that he's receiving now? Is it a mistake? Again, they could see this as a short-term, this is going to be a short-term loss on investment. They could see that. They probably know that. But the long-term is that we need enough subscribers, dedicated subscribers, and we could probably get maybe 70% of that. Because here's the reason why I say that 70% number comes in. Because you have to understand, you get a one month free trial period. Most of those people will cancel their subscriptions after a Canelo fight. They would. So my thing is that I don't know, man. This is a very gray area for me. We'll see how this turns out in the next 5 years. I hope they're successful here, but to me, this looks like a potential, in my opinion. This could be a potential loss of investment unless Canelo fights the names that they need, because according to the contract, he does have to have the championship level fights. He has to provide that. And I think based off the agreement, they have to have an opponent, a mutual agreed opponent between between Canelo and Golden Boy with the zone. That's the way I see it. Let me see. Red Glove Militant, what's happening, brother? What's happening, man? And Rosclot says, yeah, Oscar still own that white guy. Okay. Canelo will have 11 bums that will have bums out of that 11 fights. Yeah, he will. He is going to fight some Joe Schmoes out of that. And that's the one thing I'm worried about. It's like, if they're looking for you to produce the results, you can't be fighting on Joe Schmoes. You're going to have to fight those top elite fighters, but at the same time, you're risking your health doing that as well. So it's going to be tough for Canelo. It's going to be very, very tough. I mean, he's got a lot on his back right now. He's going, it's immense pressure on him to deliver the results. But at the same time, he doesn't have to feel too much pressure because he's still getting the guaranteed $36 million. Now, let's see. Canelo's not worth the money that he's getting, but hey, congratulations to him, the Great White Hope. Yeah, he's from Mexico. He's a Mexican. Let's not forget that, Roscalot. Red Glove says, hey, Dan, today we named low place Lewis Place because Lewis Lane in love with Superman. Don't let Lewis Place get you on that one, man. That's funny. He's Lewis Place because he loves that Superman. Steven said. Rome says that. What's going on, Rome? Rome says that Zone is going to get their money back, I bet. Yeah, I mean, again, I think they know this could be a potential loss of investment, but the long-term gain is because you're always going to have a short-term goal when it comes to business. And the reason why I say that is because when you mention a short-term goal, it's either a potential loss in sales or it's a potential minimum amount of growth that you're looking for, okay? Now, the short-term deal is that they are going to probably more likely take a loss on the investment. But the long-term goal is they need to get enough subscribers, enough paying subscribers, so that way they can show that if they're trying to gain contracts from these other organizations like the NBA or the NFL in the future, they can show them the numbers, they can show them their profit, they can show their profit loss balance sheets over the last, several years and what type of contracts they've acquired, this, that, and the third, and they'll go from there, and what type of licensing they can give to those companies. Because they're looking for those licensing deals, because the NBA, they're getting about $5 billion licensing fee from fucking ABC and ESPN. Now, if the zone can match that, then the NBA will go over there. They'll go to the zone. The NFL, I'm not sure how much they're getting. I'm sure they're getting about 900 million, probably over a billion. MLB is around the billions. Yeah, see, these sports organizations are getting well over billions of dollars worth of TV licensing fees. And the zone's going to have a long way to go to try to match that if that's what their long-term goal is, to gain those organizations to come on over to their platform. So Rasclaw says, yeah, Lewis Place held a few L's today. Well, yeah, we're talking about the Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence thing. Yeah, you guys know the only, me, I don't like when guys are consistent. And no disrespect for Lowe. Lowe's cool. But, sometimes I feel he gets a little out of hand. It's like, dude, if you're going to be extra critical of Crawford's performances against the likes of Jose Benavidez, then you need to be consistent with your fighters that you look up to, like the Badu Jacks, like the Adonis Stevenson. Stevenson hasn't looked that great. I mean, he hasn't been spectacular the last few fights. I mean, other than the Badu Jack fight, yeah, he was dominated against low competition like because in the world and the bar rematches. He was expected to do that, but that's not overly impressive. Stevenson didn't even win his last fight. Yeah, he got a draw. He retained his title. But, he's going up against Vosdick, and I'm not sure if Stevenson can get through that fight. To me, that's a 50-50 fight. I would probably slightly favor Vosdick to win it, but my point is that just show some consistency, man. If you're going to be extra critical against Crawford, you got to do the same thing with your fighters. You have to do the same thing. If you're going to pick their performances, you got to do the same for Stevenson because Crawford had a better performance against Benavidez than Stevenson had against Jack and against Bika, against Fafar the first fight, against Darnell Bill the first fight, obviously. So, I mean, come on. I mean, Superman does have his kryptonites himself. He does have his weaknesses, and Lopez doesn't like to point those weaknesses out. He doesn't like that. But he liked to nitpick Crawford's weaknesses, allegedly, but he doesn't want to nitpick Stevenson's weaknesses. That is what it is. But, it's all cool, though. Lopez is cool, man. Sometimes he just, takes it way over the wall. Yeah, Battle Rifle in the chat. Battles like Triple G still hit harder than Charlo. Charlo is going to have a hard night with Jacobs than Golovkin. Hey, it's possible. It's possible, but but we all know that Charlo hits harder than Golovkin. We all know that. We all know that, bro. You may not believe that, but we know it. Let me see. Rome says that I see hating as Floyd is back and he never did really leave. No. Floyd, he's doing the Sugar Ray Leonard route, okay? He's, what it is that he's going to select, he's in this position now where he can make as much money as he wants, without taking the necessary risks that many of us want him to do. He can make a good 9-figure paydays as he say he will do. He's always bragging about that, right? And, and he knows he'll still attract some of those casuals who still look up to him and they'll still pay, dumbass money to watch him give him a boring performance. And he knows that because they're so freaking deranged and sick, some of them, okay? And no disrespect to the Floyd fan, or the actual rational Floyd fanatics. But, I say fanatics, yeah. The rational Floyd fans or fanatics, as you want to call it. But these fanboys, man, they just, anything that Floyd does, he can't do no wrong. They won't criticize him for it. They won't, And they're gladly accept the fact that he'll con them out of their money to, for bullshit fights, that they want to give him. Now, the McGregor fight, yes, is across from, it was a, you could say it was a circus, but you know what? I didn't really care because many fighters have done that over the years, like how Lee's fought and, taking on circus fights, like, he took on pro wrestling legend by name Antonio Inoki, whatnot. And and Mike Tyson did some, exhibition bouts with some guys, he did some wrestling events, whatnot. So, he's performed in wrestling shows. So that to me, I didn't really mind. But it's like this dude walking around talking about, I'm getting a 9-figure payday fight Pacquiao again. Who gives a fuck about that rematch? Nobody wants to see that again. I mean, except for the diehard Floyd fanatics and some diehard Pacquiao fans who still believe that, Pacquiao may have a chance of rematching Floyd. That's not going to happen, bro. I mean, when I mean by rematching, winning the rematch, I don't see that happening. But the fact is that this is just, come on, man. Seriously, it's like, anyhow, this dude will do anything to undermine anybody's success that he doesn't like, or anybody that's never disrespected him. I remember one time he undermined AJ's success when he sold out Wembley against Klitschko. He was undermining that. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. It's like you can't give anybody credit for anything. It's always got to be about you, man. It's always got to be about Floyd Mayweather, no matter what. He's an attention seeker. He's always been that way. But, he's going to hate on Canelo Alvarez's contract with Dazn. So be it. That's his prerogative. All right? That's his prerogative. But it is what it is, man. So another thing I want to talk about, let me go back to the chat. No, we don't. All right, Battle Rifle, it's your opinion, man. What's up, Black Lances? What's good, man? Realistically, Charlo's never fought a puncher besides K9. Well, yeah, he fought a puncher but K9. You added it there. Now, J-Rock Williams wasn't a big puncher, but he did have enough power to respect you. He does have that at least. Okay? Yeah, okay. And we already had discussions about this Battle Rifle. You say that who's a better fighter, David Lemieux or K9 Bundridge? Because that's the only big puncher that Triple G's ever fought. Okay? Who's a better fighter? K9 Bundridge or David Lemieux? But you say David Lemieux, but that's your opinion. No, he's never fought more punches. Name one other than David Lemieux. Who's the other puncher that Triple G has fought? Or beat, should I say. Who else has fought other than David Lemieux, who's a big puncher? That's the only one. Who else? Man, let me go back to the chats. Let me see. Rome says that Floyd's a great fighter, but he has one of the worst tendencies I've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, it's him. That is what it is. Let me see. Floyd fans fanboys are the worse than Floyd Wilder cheerleaders. Well, that is true. Can't deny that, Rosclot. I was happy. And it's funny though, because some of those Floyd fans actually don't like Wilder fanboys, and and they know who I'm talking about. But I was happy that Floyd fought McGregor. It showed how stupid MMA fans are. I think Conor would win. They think boxing is easy. No, it's not. I mean, first of all, it takes a long time to develop hand skills. It's easier to develop a grappling game. I mean, it's easier to develop a grappling ground game than it is a stand-up game. Now, I'm not saying grappling is easy, but I'm saying it's not much difficult to develop that game as opposed to a stand-up game. If you don't believe me, ask Ken Shamrock. He said it himself. So, Bai says that Floyd needs to promote Tank Davis and shut the hell up. Yeah, he does. And that's the thing I had a conversation with, some of the guys about. Great fighter, but terrible boxing promoter. If you don't believe me, ask more than 80% of the stable that left his ass. Vicky Bay to Savannah Marshall to Ashley Theophane. I mean, God damn it. Luis Arias, who he actually cut, by the way. It's he's lost the majority of his stable. The only guys he's got left is Badu Jack and Tank Davis. That's who he's holding on to. And yes, he's doing an okay job with those guys, but overall, Floyd Mayweather is not a very good boxing promoter. Not a good boxing promoter at all. There's many of those guys who left him were complaining that he wasn't giving them any dates that they needed. He wasn't giving them no dates. So it's he spends most of his time bragging about himself, worrying about himself and about his personal revenue in some ways, but not taking care of most of his fighters. And this is the reason why Tank has been complaining. Tank wants out of his contract. He wants out. He's looking at Eddie and saying, "Hey, Eddie, I think he's talking to Eddie Hearn behind the scenes and trying to find a way to see if Eddie can buy out his contract with TMT. And I think Floyd came out and said that's not going to happen. I don't care what money you offer me. You're not buying this guy out. But money talks. Floyd does love money, so we'll see. We'll see. Rasclot says that Bundridge is garbage. Yeah, look, Rasclot, I'm not saying that Bundridge was a great fighter, but I'm telling you that he's a much better fighter than fucking Dave Lemieux. Battle Rifles is Dave Lemieux, Danny Jacobs, Curtis Stevens. Okay, I'll give you Curtis Stevens, but Danny Jacobs is not a one-punch knockout artist. Let's get that out of the bag. Those are the only two punches he's fought. It's Curtis Stevens and Dave Lemieux. That's it. No one else. Rasclot to the Red Glove Milton to Rasclot. I'm rooting for the guy who boxes, not the one who bugs Uber drivers. I don't know what that means, but okay. Red Glove Milton. I think Campo got the low ratings for Lyft. Hey, what's Mr. Doc? What's happening, man? What's happening, man? Yeah, man. I like to. I'm spending less time on this. It's very liberating for me. But at the same time, I don't want to be off completely from doing live hangouts. So, yeah, man, no question about it. Let's see. Let me see. Ocampo. Let me see. Red Glove Militant. Yeah, Ross Clyde, Red Glove. They're cracking up jokes here. Lower Flannery, what's going on, man? Flannery. He says that Tank needs to get himself out. I mean, lots of potential, and he's being wasted. It's being wasted while he sits on the show for Floyd. Yeah, man. Despite his antics on, on Twitter and Facebook, not Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, Tank needs to figure out a way. And in fact, he's actually under a lot of legal jeopardy right now because he's being sued for like $2 million by a stripper that he knocked out cold. So he's also a loose cannon too. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, he needs to figure this out because he's got this litigation battle he's got to deal with, and if anything, Al Heyman is probably going to bail him out of that. It's going to be more like a loan campaign, like a loan program that he sets up with these guys who are in legal trouble, like Antonio Harper and Adrian Broner. Okay, I'll bail you out legally, but you owe me. So that's how it works. It's this loan program that he sets up for these guys. But yeah, Tank definitely needs to, if Floyd's not gonna promote him properly, he needs to leave TMT. He needs to go somewhere else who's gonna promote him. If Eddie can do it, so be it. But Eddie better give him fights that he's looking for, okay? And that's one thing I want to get into is Luis Ortiz. All right. Oh, Battle Rifle says that Ashley Jacobs he had like 27 knockouts out of 31 wins. Okay. Robert Easter had like 15 wins out of 14 knockouts before he started fighting on better competition. Is he a knockout artist? I'm just saying he has a pretty good knockout percentage, but is he a knockout artist? Is he a big puncher? Okay, then. Jacobs is a respectable puncher, but he's not a big puncher. Rubio will beat the brakes off of musclehead Bundrich. Okay, you can believe that, Roscliffe, but who has a better resume, Bundrich or Lemieux? That's the question here. Who has a better resume? Nah, Roscliffe, Lemieux is not skilled at all, man. He has no technical advantages whatsoever. He has that one big punch left hook, and that's it. That's all he's got. That's all he's got. Yeah, Mr. Doc says, I've been doing less myself. It's a bit stale when the actual fights slow down. Yeah, it is, man. It is. Javante should sign with Dazn. It's the future of boxing. Well, you know what? Ross, if he signs on his own, I'm all for it. Let me just say this, guys. I'm a fan of boxing before I'm a fan of any fighter, before I'm a fan of any network, before I'm a fan of any promoter, okay? As long as you give me the good fights, and yes, I was still a subscriber to HBO before they took off boxing. Now I'm going to have to remove the subscription, okay? Even though I didn't like some of their commentary and some of the fights they put on, at the end of the day, I'm still a boxing fan, and I'll watch HBO fights, okay? As long as you give me the fights that I'm paying for, then I'm all for it. I don't care what network is on. Give me the fights that I'm willing to pay for. Don't give me these damn rinky-dink fights and expect fans or casual fans to clamor to that, or any hardcore fans by that matter. Don't do that. And this whole boxing is a business narrative. I mean, it's funny when people say that when it suits their certain fighters. When it comes to fighters they don't like and they don't give them the fights they want, they want to dismiss that narrative. Please. Okay. I don't know. Man, it spends a lot. Lemieux's decent at least. Yeah, I mean, he's an okay fighter, but he's not a great fighter. He's not better than Bundrich, in my opinion. Bundrich, we know, has a better resume than Lemieux. Fact. That is fact right there. He has a better resume than Lemieux. Now, Battle Rifle says, nah, he was a big puncher. Robert Easter was taller than most of his opponents. He relied on his counter hand to knock people out. Well, really, if that's the case, how come he couldn't knock out Denis Shafakov? How come Easter couldn't knock out Richard Comey? How come he couldn't knock out Mikey Garcia? How come he couldn't knock out Javier Fortuna, who's known to have a questionable chin? He couldn't even knock that guy out. The guy who many people thought at the time was shot, was like, over the hill. So he struggled against that guy. So I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Derek Williams, what's happening, brother? Salute, brother. Salute, man. He said, I blame these younger fighters for not standing up to Floyd and taxing them. You can't come back unless you face a killer threat of opponent, but they respect him too much as an issue. Yeah, I mean, you know what it is, though? It's like Floyd has set set this environment where I'm going to make, if you're in a position to make as much money as you can, you don't have to take those necessary risks. He set that environment. And let's be fair to him. He's not the only guy that's done it. Sugar Ray Leonard has done it. He was the guy who set the standard. But at that time, Sugar Ray Leonard didn't really publicize that, which was a very smart thing for him to do. He didn't make that. He didn't he didn't make that very well known. You know, Floyd is the one who did that, and he bragged about it, and he didn't care, and people still admired him for doing that. And when you do things like that, then fighters going to look at that and say, you know what? If Floyd Mayweather can get away with making all this money and fighting opponents that doesn't propose to be a big risk to him, I can do the same thing once I get into that position. That's exactly what these fighters are doing now. Now these Al Heyman fighters, no disrespect to the PBC Al Heyman fighters, but some of these guys, like Keith Thurman, for example, once they're in a position to make $2, $3, $4, $5 million per fight, and they're like, nah, you know what? I don't need to take those necessary risks anymore. I'm a champion. I'm drawing some money. I'm making some big money. I'm drawing some crowds. I don't need to take those risks anymore. Those crowds are still going to be behind me now. And that's exactly what's going on. And we got to go back to the era of Don King, and Blood Boxing can attest to what I'm saying. He can agree to what I'm saying. We need to get those Don King type of promoters back into the game. Not a situation Don King was screwing these guys financially, royally. What I'm saying is that if you want a big payday, you got to fight the best competition out there that I'm going to offer you. You got to do it, man, because this is how Don King, when he put up fights back then, boxing was at its peak back in the 90s, man. The 90s was great, man. If you didn't fight the best, Don King was not going to pay you. Bob Arum at the time wasn't going to pay you. None of these promoters were all following the Don King blueprint in a way. They was like, look, if we're not going to pay these fighters unless they're fighting the fights that the fans want to see. Because at the end of the day, you have to understand, us fans are the reason why these fighters get paid. We're funneling their paychecks, okay? If they don't give us the fights and the results that we're looking for, if they're not giving us the money, I'm stuttering here, y'all. If they're not giving us the fights that we're paid to see, then we don't need to be giving them any more money. Plain and simple. We don't need to do that. So I'm not saying there should be a boycott going on, but I'm just saying that boxing needs to get back to the position where all big fights matter. Fuck all these making as much money as you can and taking less riskier fights. No, forget all that, man. And again, I'm not saying that you have to do this 100% of the time. I can understand you want to go ahead and take a low-level fight, and that's cool. But I think your paycheck needs to reflect on who you fight and when you fight these guys. That's the way I see it. It has to be a pay structure on what type of level fights you're fighting, how much you're going to get paid for that. Even if you're a big draw, I'm not going to pay you that money if you're as opposed to fighting this particular A-level fighter. So that's the way it is. What's up, Kiwi? What's up, man? Ross Kloss says that I agree, Dan, man. I mean, I said this before. They follow Floyd's high-paying, low-risk model. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Again, Floyd followed Sugar Ray Leonard, even though he disrespects Sugar Ray Leonard, but Floyd Leonard followed the Sugar Ray Leonard roadmap. He did. Taking on unnecessary rematches, fighting guys that he know he could beat and make big money out of it. That's exactly what he did with Sugar Ray did. And yet he criticized Sugar Ray Leonard. He's doing exactly what he did. Kari King says that, yeah, Floyd is very narcissistic, especially with things he said about past fighters like Ali and Robinson. Yeah, he is. The thing is that he does these things to draw attention to himself, and he loves the attention. When he doesn't get attention, he freaking just psychologically panics in his mind. He panics because if no one's giving him no attention, he'll find a way to get attention, create controversy. He don't care how he does it, as long as he gets some attention. He doesn't care. As long as people are talking about him, he don't give a fuck. Black Lives sees that very dangerous, true, but Lemieux is a jerk, is a Jekyll Hyde type of a guy. Sometimes David shows that he can be real contender. Other times he looks very trash. Yeah, it's like one of those situations where he steps up on his level of competition, he looks very bad. I mean, give him credit for the Nam Jekyll fight, but other than that, this guy's been knocked out against the likes of Marco Antonio Rubio, who's not a very good fighter at all. I mean, other than that, Billy Joe Saunders made him look very one-dimensional, very horrible. I mean, Golovkin, all Golovkin needed to do was jab him to death, and that was it. That's all you had to do. Yeah, Dan, it's basic economics. If the consumers want to control the pricing points, they gotta not buy the stuff when the price is too damn high. Not wait until they can't afford it. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Lord Flanderoy says, is there any way to control the sanctioned bodies allowing step aside money to not face mandatories and so on? That seems to be a big part of the problem. You know what? That's a very good question, Lord. That's a very good question. Let's see. I think Is there a way to, let me read the question one more time so I can get it. I mean, it's a good question, but let me just make sure I get a better understanding of it. Is there any way to control the sanctioned bodies allowing step aside money to not face mandatories and so on? I think what it has to be done is that if you're going to pay a step aside deal, it has to go on once. All these sanctioned bodies need to get together and have this uniform code and say, you know what, we'll allow step aside deals, but we can only allow it once, and then that's it. Then you have to face your mandatory. They can't continue to allow these step asides to go on as long as they do, and wait for these mandatories to wait for the shots for years, months, this, that, and the third. That's got to stop. I agree. That's a big part of the problem. They need to restructure that policy when it comes to step aside deals. I know that IBF don't really have a step aside policy, but they will allow it to some type of discretion. They will allow it to some degree. Kingpin says, "Hey, but Canelo's the one who started this shit. I mean, Floyd was just responding, bro. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, he takes it too far with his responses, man. I mean, seriously, he does take it too far. I mean, it's like, is it that necessary to go after the guy, this, that, and the third, then go after his promoter by all this fishnet stuff, all that? Come on, man. Seriously? I mean, no one's going after Floyd Mayweather for his finances. No one's bringing up his past issues with his, with him, with his women. Nobody's bringing that up, but yeah, he keeps bringing this shit up, being petty, man. That's the only thing. I think I missed it, but what do you think about the Zone, Dan? I think it's a good platform, Kiwi. And I said this before. I think that Eddie, for the Zone to be successful, Eddie Hearn's going to have to find a way to get these big time fighters in the U.S., and he wasn't able to do that because he's not, what he's offering and what the licensing fees are and all that stuff. It wasn't satisfying to some of these big name fighters, and plus, some of these big name fighters are very, very, very loyal to Al Haymon and the PBC brand. They're very loyal to him. So Eddie still is right now, is facing a big uphill battle trying to get a big name signed in the U.S. So based off the preliminary results that he put on so far with his own, with 2 cards, one in the UK that was shown with Joshua and Povetkin, and the one that happened in Chicago, the preliminary results are not that good. So now that HBO is bound out of boxing and they're going to finish up at the end of the year, Golden Boy was looking for a new home. So obviously the Zone executives reached out to De La Hoya, or De La Hoya reached out to the Zone executives. I don't know who reached out to who, but basically what the Zone executives says, they jump on the opportunity and say, you know what, we need a promoter in the U.S., a U.S. promoter who understands the U.S. market. So this is a perfect time for us to get a guy like Oscar De La Hoya, because he knows how to market to the U.S. demographic. He knows how to do it, and he has the biggest cash cow in boxing in his arsenal, Canelo Alvarez. So why not? So they made the deal, and it was a direct deal between the two, and that was it. Great deal. I'm happy for the Zone, because I've said that they're going to fail if they can't get this, if they don't turn this around real quickly. And I was not praying for their downfall. I'm a fan of boxing. I'm not a fan of a network. Okay, I'm a fan of the sport before I'm a fan of a network. I don't care what fighters are fighting on. As long as they give me the fights I want to see, I'll pay for it. So I think the Zone did a great move. And what I don't understand is that all these people, the AJ fanboys that are Hearn fanatics, they're crediting Eddie Hearn for this. I'm like, why? He had nothing to do with the deal. He had nothing to do with it. He didn't make the deal. He didn't broker the deal between Canelo and Golden Boy and the Zone. He didn't do that. I don't know why people are giving him credit for this. This is why I'm laughing about this, because this is bizarre talk. Bizarre talk. I'm like, and they're saying, oh, Wilder fans are going crazy over this. Look, I'm looking at, fanboys, whatever you want to call it. I'm looking at the Wilder fanboy channels. They're not going crazy over this. They're even being rational about it. It's like, look, great deals. Good job for the Zone. They got a great deal out of it. But why is everyone giving Eddie Hearn credit for this? That's why I don't understand. Why is he getting credit for a deal that he didn't break? He didn't broker. This is bizarre talk. Again, I point out some things. It's like, I don't think he will be successful. I mean, not successful. I don't think he'll benefit from this. The only thing he'll benefit from this deal is that he'll be able to do some matchmaking with De La Hoya on the same network. That's it. Anything else, he's not co-promoting Canelo. He's not co-promoting any of his fighters or of his events. So how is he benefiting majority from this deal? So I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. This thing is amazing. Amazing, I should say. Let's see. Low places in the chat. Oh boy. Low place says here. Let's see. He says that Nello had his shot and blew it, and now he feels Floyd should come out of retirement, tiring for him doing all his crossover fights. But Canelo and Oscar want the same crossover fights, and they're fighting fielding. Well, hey, I mean, look, just because they're fighting fielding doesn't mean they don't want crossover fights. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, it's a one-off fight. I'm not sure it's going to attract 1 million subscribers, but at the same time, I mean, if Floyd's going to come out of retirement and face all these MMA fighters, why not fight Canelo Alvarez in a rematch? Me personally, I don't want to see it because it probably would. Well, you know what? I probably would like to see it because Canelo Alvarez has become a much better fighter after that fight. So that would be something I'll be interested in. As far as Pacquiao's concerned, no, I'm not interested in that fight. I'm not interested in that. It's going to be the same result. All right. Let me see. Kiwi says, do you think Canelo and De La Hoya signing will legitimize the zone into many U.S. fighters? You know what? Good point. Good question, Kiwi. I think it's going to bring some fighters over because they're going to look at this and say, you know what? We know about Golden Boy. We know about De La Hoya. So, yeah, why not? Some of them are going to come over. But, again, it goes back to these PBC fighters. How many can they lure over to the zone? Now, if anything, they're not going to sign with Matchroom. They're going to sign with De La Hoya. So, again, how does that benefit Hearn? Because Hearn has been trying to go after those PBC fighters. And he's only got one of them, and that's Tevin Farmer. That's it. That's the only one he has. So, how is he going to get a Mikey Garcia? If anything, I know Mikey Garcia's name came up in the conversation. I heard that he's not quite happy with the PBC and with his current situation. So, he's looking at other options. So, I'm predicting if Mikey Garcia goes to the zone, he might sign with Golden Boy rather than Matchroom. I don't know. If anything could happen, but that's what could be the case. But if he does sign with Matchroom, then so be it. I don't care. But again, to your point, Kiwi, to your question, yeah, it would legitimize him to bring as many U.S. fighters over. But the number of them, I don't know. We'll see. But it's definitely going to be a down. Once again, I hate to say this, man. We're entering another Cold War when it comes to these networks. With the zone in here, then you have ESPN, then you have Showtime. We're entering another Cold War, and this is something we don't need. We don't need another Cold War, but it's all these these network executives and promoters are getting too greedy to the point that they're all trying to maximize their profits with in-house fights. Because you have to understand, they make more money doing in-house fights rather than cross-promotional fights or cross-network fights. They make less money doing that. So let's keep everything in-house and maximize our profits. And that's what they're doing. They've been doing this for years. And it is pissing off a lot of fans. It's like we're getting tired of all these in-house fights. We need to go back to the 90s, go back to that model when we get all these crossover fights. Yes, you're not going to maximize your profits there, but you gain more profits at the end if you do more crossover fights. You gain more at the end rather than continue to do in-house fights. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. It's a fact. Yeah, it was good, Joe Host. I'm going to the comment section real quickly here. Mr. Doc, well, i.e. Abuza says that, or Jerk the Bird, what's up, Jerk? Jerk says the zone is winning. Yeah, they got the De La Hoya Canelo deal, so yeah, can't knock them for that. But they still got ways to go, man, because their first two shows and their numbers is not looking good at all. So this Canelo signing is a game changer, so we'll see what type of subscribers and viewership they get from the building fight, so we'll see. They got Usyk, AJ, Miller, Jacobs, and Andrade, Bertaviev, Canelo, and Farmer. Yeah, those are pretty good names, but Canelo's definitely the bigger name out of all of them. And Farmer, Andrade, Jacobs, and Miller, and AJ, they can't draw those numbers here in the U.S. like Canelo can, or Bertaviev, Farmer. They can't do it. Only Canelo can do it. And speaking of AJ, there's another thing I have to bring up. Hearn is feeling the pressure right now. He is feeling the pressure because, again, he's got to compete with De La Hoya now on the same network. So what he's going to have to do, if he stands a chance of delivering the numbers on the Matchroom side to the zone, he's going to have to bring Joshua over here and fight him in the States, fight in the States full time. He's going to have to do it. And he's going to have to make the fights with Joshua Wilder. He's going to have to make the fights with Miller. They're going to have to fight those American heavyweights. I mean, the heavyweights here in America, like Lennox Lewis did it. They're going to have to do it. He's going to have to bring Joshua over here. So after the April 13th Wembley fight, Joshua's got to come over to the States and fight full time here. if he's going to make those numbers for the zone. That's one way he's going to have to do it. So let me see here. Let me see. Battle Rifle and Black Lances is going at it with the Golovkin thing. All right, let's see. Mr. Doc says that IE says that Canelo has shown amazing loyalty to Oscar, so he must be one of Canelo's childhood heroes. Yeah, it is. It's very, very bizarre. Not bizarre, but it's loyalty right there. It's a lot of loyalty. A lot of loyalty. So sorry guys, I'm a little distracted here. But anyways. Let me see. Sorry guys, somebody's bothering me. Yeah, come on. All right. Sorry, guys. Somebody's making a manager's calls. Well, I love these manager meetings. Yeah, so anyways, let me go back to the comments. Mr. Doc says, at this point, Dan, it seems like every topic drives at least a few people from all sides to try and have a conversation to infantile pissing contest. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's always been that way. That's when it comes to tribalism. Tribalism is gone to a whole new level when it comes to social media and boxing. It has. But to be fair, though, tribalism back in the days, back in where, Reconstruction era, in the 1900s, during the very, very segregational times, it was a lot worse back then than it is now on this social media platform. So this is a cakewalk. This is nothing compared to what it was back then. Mr. Locke says, low place lives. Jerk the Brewer says the zone is taking over. PBC is over. There are a bunch of inactive fighters. They aren't going to be fighting. They're not going to be ever be pound for pound pay-per-view stars. Well, Wilder's fighting on pay-per-view, so we'll see how that turns out. His first pay-per-view, and yes, I think it is fair to say that the PBC do have a bunch of active fighters, but based off what's going on, I'm sure that Heyman, he's got the dates now. He's got that lucrative deal from ABC and Fox. I'm sorry, not ABC, CBS and Fox. So, and the part of that deal is that they have to put on championship level fights. And Heyman does have the date, so he'll be able to get his fighters active again. So that goes into effect at the end. I think it starts next year. So definitely, we're gonna see a battle here between the in-house fights between the Zone, Heyman, the PBC with Showtime, and then of course Top Rank with ESPN. So we'll see how this thing turns out next year, man. We'll see. Battle Rifle says, "Do you think Charlo beats Billy Joe, Dan?" Tough fight. But I may edge it to Charlo. May go the distance, but he could catch Billy Joe, though. We'll see. Red Glove Milton says that some people think Hearn signed Canelo. Some fans think Chisora left Hearn or Hay. I mean, yeah, it's just like this is called misinformation. You got to put out the correct information here. I mean, the thing about this is that some of these channels I see are using the Rupert Murdoch strategy, okay? For those of you who don't know who Rupert Murdoch is, he's the guy who owns about 70% of the media, the world's media. This is a guy who's formed News Corp, who owns Fox at the time. I think they sold off Fox over to Disney. Fox, 20th Century Fox, I believe. Yeah, 20th Century Fox. I think they sold it over to for Disney. That owns ABC. So Rupert Murdoch, through his publications, through Fox News, through the Sun over there in the UK, whatnot, he's always had this narrative that the more lies or mistruths that you tell, the more people are going to believe that lie or mistruths. And this is what these channels are doing to gain subscribers and their growth, because some of these channels know that if you tell this certain narrative, and people are going to believe it because they choose to believe it without proper researching it. Okay. Now, this whole thing with Hearn signing Canelo, that's not true. He didn't have nothing to do with that deal. And no matter how many times you repeat it, they're not going to believe it. They're going to try to change the narrative to say, you know what? They'll find somehow, some way to make this seem like this is a success for Eddie Hearn. It's not a success. This is only a success for De La Hoya and Golden Boy because they got something out of this. This deal puts Golden Boy back in the game when it comes to being a very, very competitive promotional company. It puts him back in the game now. So I don't understand it. As far as the Zora and the Hearn situation is concerned, I'm sorry, with Hay, yeah, that's pretty bizarre. Pretty bizarre situation. But hey, Derek Zora's, it's a management deal. It's not a promotional deal. So Zora is still signed with Hearn on a fight-by-fight basis deal. But, he's got a new manager in David Hay. That's all it is. Io says that PBC fighters. Yes, baby. I'm going. I'm on. Sorry, y'all. My wife and I are chatting. But I'm going.
You look like a cute man.
I know.
It's not cute.
No, I love you.
I love you.
All right. So the PBC's IL Boozy said PBC fighters really have what's up, babe? Yeah, PBC fighters really have to consider the zone. I mean, where's the fights after Showtime? The Fox deal is wasted away. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a good point. It's a good point. IO. I mean, this is the thing. Again, this is one of the criticisms with Heyman was stable. He's got a shitload of fighters, but most of those fighters are not active, and they're getting impatient too. It's like, okay, we're in the dates. We need to get paid. We need to feed our families. So this is one of the biggest drawbacks when it comes to signing these fighters, so many fighters, because you have many shitload of fighters on your stable, you're not making them active. That's a problem. So let's see where this deal goes with the Showtime Fox deal. Let's just hope most of these fighters that's been on the show for a while, they get back out there and they start, resuming their careers. And I think we may see something out of this for Heyman. We may, well, as far as this deal is concerned, we might see something out of this from a positive light. We'll see. Let me see. Mr. Dr. Battle Rifle. If Billy Ho has fought Lemieux that fought that good, then still favor Charlo, but I could see him having trouble with that constant movement. Yeah, good point. Let's see. Kiwi says that, well, Jack Jerk the Bird says that if Mikey goes to the zone, even if he does sign with Golden Boy, the zone is still winning. Yeah, absolutely. It does go credit to the zone, but let's not pretend that Earn has anything to do with Eddie Hearn has anything to do with it. This is a Golden Boy the Zone success, not an Eddie Hearn success. So this is what we're trying to distinguish the difference between the fact that we have two different promoters that are competing to sign fighters now for different network platforms. That's what it is right now, and they're competing to deliver the results. That's what they're doing. So that's what it is. Joe Host, what's happening, man? I'm just going through this comment section. Kiwi says if Matchroom USA, let me see. Kiwi says if Matchroom USA plays better than De La Hoya, I don't see why fighters would prefer De La Hoya. Well, yeah, that's if Matchroom USA can, deliver the results. I mean, deliver the pay that they're looking for. I mean, here's the thing: they don't know too much about Eddie Hearn. They don't know, he's a big shot in the UK, but Eddie Hearn doesn't have any reputation here in the US. He has no clout here, so De La Hoya does. And the U.S. is a bigger market than the U.K. It's a bigger market. So, obviously they know De La Hoya. De La Hoya, they don't know him only just because he was a promoter. De La Hoya was a great fighter, a huge cash cow back in the day. He has a reputation here in the U.S. So, that's yet to be seen, though, Kiwi. It's a pretty good point. Mars MB says, it doesn't matter who the fighter is signed to. We just want to see them be active. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. I agree with you on that one. Joe says Ortiz back with Matchroom. Oh boy. Well, actually, Joe, let me get to that right now. They haven't signed a deal yet, But you know, Jay Jimenez, who actually came out, he said they're actually working on a 3-fight deal with Ortiz and Matchroom. Now, this is actually very funny to me because this is many people who are dismissing this narrative, who put out this false narrative that Jay Jimenez does not get involved in any negotiations with Luis Ortiz's contracts, his purses, or television dates, et cetera, which is all bullshit. So that all dismisses that fucking narrative that they put out. Okay, and the reason why they put it out because Jimenez was the guy who opened up his mouth and said that the with this whole the WBA and the Anthony Joshua situation, and they were trying to discredit Jimenez. So because of that, and he was proven to be right out of that situation. But anyhow, me personally, if Ortiz needs to go to Matchroom, fine, so be it. But they what I hope that's the case is that if Ortiz does resign with Matchroom, he better get the fights that he wants. They better put him in there against Joshua. They better put him in there against Dillian White, and they better put him in there against maybe Tony Bellew, if Tony Bellew will want that fight. I don't think he will want it, but we'll see. But as long as he get in there against White and Joshua, then I'm fine with that. Okay, he better not. Better not sign Ortiz to where he did last time to keep him away from his biggest fighters. Don't do that because if he's giving them some bullshit fights, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna be angry. Okay. So that's all I got to say about that. If they're going to sign with re-sign with Matchroom, that's their decision. But at the same time, he better get the fights that he's been looking for many years. You better give him that Joshua fight. You better give him that Dillian White fight, who, by the way, ran away when he got his bluff being called by Ortiz. And yet there's people still defending Dillian White in that situation, which I find very amazing to me. Very amazing. Let me see. Let me Saunders. Let me see Rosclot. Charles a live dog for anybody 160. The thing is, Canelo's improving. And Ambai says that AJ's fighting on Canelo card will make him a household name in the U.S. I don't know about that. I don't think AJ will fight on anybody's undercard. I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, who knows? I mean, let me see. Lennox Lewis was a pretty, he was a headliner in the UK, but yeah, he fought on the undercards in the USA. So. But at the same time, I think AJ is a little bit bigger than Lennox Lewis to where he doesn't really have to fight on anybody's undercard. I don't care if it's in the USA. I don't care if it's in South America, but who knows? But I think he could headline a show here, but it's not going to be a big stadium fight over here. He can headline a show in the US, but he needs a dance partner. But if anything, whoever's going to be the headliner, it's going to be Wilder. Wilder's going to be the headliner versus AJ if they fight in the US. Yeah, he's going to be the headliner. But that's to Mark's point. Thanks, Kiwi. Thanks for the love, bro. Thanks for the shout out on that one. Hit the thumbs up, everybody. Black Lazzy said Charlo may need to fight Triple G before Nello. Yeah, I want to see that fight, but Triple G doesn't want to fight Charlo. He's pissed off that the WBC ordered that fight. Let me see. Io Boozy says the Boxing Boy said earlier that Ortiz is joining Eddie, so why would he go back to that at this point? Why would he go back at this point? He ain't getting AJ. You know what? I hope he does, and that's why I'm hoping this is part of the deal if he goes back, because if he goes back to Matchroom and they're giving him shitty fights, there's no point for him to go back. And I agree with you on that one. This makes him no fucking point at all for him to do that. And what I find funny about this is that if he does sign that deal, all these fanboys of AJ who criticize Ortiz for several months now, they've been criticizing him for several months. They're going to praise Eddie Hearn for re-signing Luis Ortiz. I find that a fucking double standard right there. It's amazing to me that they're doing this, if that happens. And they are going to come out and do that. Watch. They will. So let me see. Joho says, I guess Ortiz want that payday. Well, obviously, yeah, he's old. He needs, his daughter needs some medical attention. So she has special needs. So yeah, yeah, I mean, obviously he needs to. He's making a financial decision at this point. Obviously he needs those big fights, and he's going to have to sign with Hearn if he wants it. Like I said, I don't mind him going back to Matchroom as long as he's promised the fights that he's been looking for years, for a long while now. He needs to get those fights. He needs to stop being marginalized. Let's see. Black Lens sees that Jamal needs to be active, though. He can definitely beat Canelo if he's focused. Yeah, he can. He's capable of doing it. Ross Glass says that PP is the one who started this tribalism when it comes to in these European boxing fanboy ways. Yeah, I mean, you can say he's the one who kind of initiated this whole thing. You know, Sean Newton, the bitch in Taiwan, kind of initiated it too. And I mean, he ain't the only one. I think there's another guy too over there in the UK. I think it's Nordic Warrior. I heard of him. You know, he and I had a little, exchange one time because he said something that didn't make any sense, and I had to call him out on his double standard. So it was funny. So I mean, yeah, PP probably started it, and then Newton followed behind him, and so obviously those European fighters again that murdered white murderers roll list that D Style brought up the other day, which is funny. Yeah, that white murderers rolls list is getting wiped out. Those guys that John Newton put on there, Golovkin, Lomachenko, who suffered a loss against Toledo, he may suffer another loss pretty soon. We'll see. Who else was on that list? Shabransky, I think, was on that list. I think he put on there. So all the guys that he put on there are getting wiped out. So Kovalev. So it's pretty funny there. Haley Marshall, what's going on? He says here that Showtime needs to get their shit together. Eamon needs to show that he's still the main man. Yeah, he does. I mean, if anything, this is good competition, and we got good competition. So we'll see what happens next year because, this year is about to wrap up pretty soon. We still got a couple fights left in. A few high-profile fights being named in. So we'll see how this goes, okay? We'll see how this goes. Hold on for a second, guys. Sorry, y'all. So anyways, let me go back to the chat. Let me see. Saunders is still the man. He'll beat anybody at 160. Well, we'll see about that. We'll see. Let's see. Joe's making jokes, man. It's all good, dog. It's all good, man. Let's see. Low Play says, is it possible that Showtime, PBC, and Fox are waiting on this year to roll out to bust out the big ones because the new deals could be 2019 first quarter and beyond? Yeah, that's a good point. That's what I mentioned, Lo. That's exactly what I mentioned. They're probably going to wait until this year closes, this fiscal year closes, and then they're going to really bring out the big fights starting next year. So we'll see, because you have to understand that new contract deal that he got from PBS. I'm sorry, not PBS, from Showtime and Fox. Those contracts are not going to affect next year in January, so we'll see. Ortiz versus Usyk. Oh man, that would be a damn good fight. Damn good fight. If anything, stylistically, I don't know, man. That's I don't know, man. But I think if anything, we'll see. I mean, Usyk, I don't know. I might have to favor Ortiz to win that fight. I have to. DOG, oh boy, here we go. DGL says that Hearn will benefit from this deal simply because Canelo fights on the same network as Joshua. Now, egos that they will feed on each other's popularity. How would he benefit from it? The only thing he'll benefit from, DGO, is that he's going to have to do some matchmaking with De La Hoya. That's the only benefit he'll get. But he does not get any co-promotional deal with De La Hoya. He cannot promote any Canelo fights. So he's not getting any money out of that. The only thing he can do is do some matchmaking. That's the only benefit he'll get. There's nothing else to it. That's it. That's all he's getting. All the other things that's gonna happen is that he's gonna feel pressure to deliver the results that the zone hired him to do. That's it. That's all. That's all, man. That's all it is. Let me see. PBS fighters. Yeah, I know, man. BBS boxing. I shouldn't even said that, man. Now I might have started the trend. I said PBC, not PBS. All right, so let's see what we got here. Brought to you by viewers like you. Let's see here. What else is going on in the age of boxing? I mean, look. Let's see. By the way, I want to give you guys an update on the Wilder if Fury fight ticket sales. So, according to the latest findings, there's about 8% of tickets left to be sold. So it's on the verge of being sold out, and they got about roughly about 420 tickets left to be sold. Of course, those tickets are the front row seats, and almost like the next row that's above the front row. So it's still got this fight is almost close to being sold out. So yeah, so if anybody's interested, you better get those tickets, but they're pretty expensive right now because those cheap tickets are gone. They were gone just like that. So I'll just give you guys an update. It's less than 8% left to be sold for Wilder and Fury. So I'll give you guys an update there. Low places, Lewis Lane here, bruh. Yeah, well, anyways, let me bring these guys in the chat and see what they say. And get some of these people on. All right. Let's see what we got going here. All right. Dan, will you talk about? Yeah, I'll talk about that one real quickly, man. Yeah, let's talk about the PBC and Bud. In fact, let me get low place and everybody in here about that, man. Let's see. So let me get that in here. But first, let me send everybody a link in the chat. Let's see. Let's see. All right, yeah, let's try to get some people in here. Hey, Bias, do me a favor, bro. Try to get Black Horse over here too, man, because if you could get him over there, we got to talk about this Terrence Crawford and Bud thing, man. Again, I mean, the Bud and Earl Spence thing again, man, because it seems like this is not going away for a while. Let's see, man. Let me see what I got here. Something's going on. Low place. What's happening, man?
Canelo Nation is in crybation. Crybaby.
Why you say that?
They lost. You can't deal with the fact they still like Canelo needs to get over it. Like, bro, you had all the advantage. You were younger, you were bigger, you were stronger. You had less wear and tear, and you got beat over 12 rounds. And now you're calling out a 41-year-old that is on a retirement heist and just having fun fighting guys he's in beef with. You know what I mean? He's having fun. He's having fun embarrassing the UFC. You know what I mean? Like, Canelo just need to let it go, man. He need to let it go and fight the guys around him. That's just mandatory. Quit trying to act bigger than boxing by keeping Floyd's name in his mouth. Floyd put you in your place long ago. If you wanted to get out of that place, you should have rematched them later that year. You should have rematched them the year after. You had no wants, Canelo. That's fact.
Well, let's be real though. Was it Canelo the one who was going in that fight with the B-side advantages? He did. Floyd was a guy who had all the advantages. Floyd was a guy who asked him to do a catch weight. Floyd was a guy who asked him to do a rehydration clause. So, I mean, hey, it's still a good win either way on Floyd's resume. I give Floyd full credit for that win. No problem there. But you have to understand he was going in that fight with some disadvantages. So you can't say that, well, he was in there at his, at the full peak of his ability. He was at a disadvantage in that fight. He had two of them, the catch weight and the rehydration clause. And Floyd got that on him. So, I mean, but at the same time, you have to agree that Floyd shouldn't be giving the guy no hate. He needs to give him some respect. So come on. Come on, man. You can't be doing that. You see this thing about Floyd, you and I both know he likes to undermine guys' success.
Canelo had every advantage. 23 years old, dropping a pound or whatever you did, bringing a guy up at his fifth weight division. If you tell me that Floyd Mayweather, when he fought at 130 pounds at 23 years old, 135 pounds at 23 years old, had to drop 1 pound, guys like Sean Porter dropped for Adrian Broner, beat the hell out of him still. He has no excuse in being a younger man, still being able to be in shape. And you lose every single round. You didn't get the most money. No, you didn't. But you still, like, his hometown is Las Vegas basically now. He wasn't no disadvantage. His promoter was the promoter.
Come on, wait a minute. Canelo was fighting in Texas, man. He was fighting in San Antonio primarily before he was fighting.
Look at him now. Look at him now. In Vegas. It was always a plan to be in Vegas, to be loved in that area, in those areas, Texas, Vegas, California. He knew it. Come on, Mexicans been fighting there forever. He's no different. But he just has nothing to complain about. Floyd Mayweather walked you out at a late age with less skill than he need to have, and it's nothing. It's nothing he can say. He's just holding on to that name instead of mentioning the Charlo, instead of mentioning the Herd, instead of mentioning the Jacob Derevchenko winner. That's what he's doing.
Well, but hey, guess what though? Canelo's in a position now that he don't have to fight them, and not saying he doesn't have to. I want him to fight those guys. You understand now, he's getting $36 million per fight now. He can fight those small all you want to. He still get paid that. So he can fight Floyd if he wants to, because hey, that's what Floyd did, right?
Well, this is what he needs to do. He needs to take his $36 million in his one loss and the other losses that we think he has and deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, it makes him and Oscar seem like, yo, damn, we gotta attack in some way or another. Like, it's over. It's done. Floyd Mayweather is in a position where I'm like, move on with it. If I see any 40-year-old fighter, any guy at a retirement, he put boxing on his back like Floyd Mayweather did, however he did it, and he starts doing crossover bouts, I'm proud of him. I'm proud. Manny Pacquiao is fighting Broner. That's a fucking great fight for him. That's amazing for him. It's a popularity, and it's an easier fight than the people that you may think you want to see him get beat by or something like that. Floyd Mayweather's doing the same shit. Canelo's fighting Rocky Fielding. Deal with it, Canelo. That's who you fight. and let's be honest, we all seen Rocky Fielding fight. It's damn near embarrassing. It's hard to watch, if we being honest.
Well, let me ask you this, because I don't think Rocky Fielding's going to have a chance in that fight. He may make some things happen, but I don't think he has a chance. But do you think it's a good thing you brought this up? Do you think that that fight would generate 1 million subscribers?
I can tell you, it ain't gonna generate this one in their millions. That one ain't. No, like, I don't get what the hell going on. I seen the commercials for Dazn. Now, I was like, okay, cool. They try and promote the Joshua Povetkin.
Right.
They could do the same thing with that one. I don't know what Canelo brings, but I know the guys that didn't watch boxing that I was around and watching the fight with that I saw, and they seen they saw something. They was talking about no. They saw the bottom line where Canelo had signed and he was going up in weight, and they was like, Canelo, ain't that the dude that fought Floyd? That's all that casuals know him by. That you fought Floyd.
And Golovkin too.
They don't even know that. They didn't even know who Golovkin was. For the most part, they didn't know. It's a million hardcore boxing fans, maybe 2 million of us that's closer to hardcore or than it is casual people. That's what I believe. And they come out when you give them a Golovkin, Canelo, but they really don't know him. They don't know him. But Canelo is known by getting smacked up by Floyd Mayweather, and at the end of the day, he should be happy. He made $36 million a fight. He's doing it at a young age, and he's likely gonna lose more in his career than Floyd Mayweather ever did, 5 times more or
Well,
something.
he will lose if he's going to fight those tomato cans that people predicted he will be doing on his own. So, I mean, I'm not lose. I'm sorry, he won't lose. I should say if he's going to fight those tomato cans like Fielding. And no disrespect to Mikey Fielding, he's not a good fighter. I'm just being honest. He's not a good fighter. So he fights.
He's wide.
Okay, you know, I have a feeling though he might fight Kell Brook. Eddie Hearn might put him in there against Kell Brook. What do you think? I'm sorry. Yeah, Kell Brook against Canelo. What do you think that about?
It's watchable. It's watchable. It's watchable, but it's not like I don't know. Come on, it's watchable, but Kell Brook shouldn't be in the ring right there, right now. Not right there. Yeah, 47-54, trying to make something new of itself, reinvent itself. But damn, just throwing in with Canelo, it's like you're cherry picking the con route all over again, and it's tiring. It's boring. But that but Wilder said it. Wilder's like, I'm not gonna buy that because of Canelo. That's true. Like his last fight, I think I messed around and paid for that Golovkin joint, and I was just like, man, not a third one, and not nothing else from you that I don't want. You gonna give me what I want, or not that.
Well, it goes back to the question: who could he fight now? But he could fight Andrade. He's on his own. I'm not sure if he wants that fight. He could fight Jacobs. I'm not sure he wants it, but we'll see. We'll see.
I think Jacobs could probably beat him. Canelo's a bit basic and flat-footed, so Jacob. He's not basic like upper body wise and what he can do up there, but his feet make it hard for him to do that against an athletic fighter. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a question: can he lose every time he go out? He's a question to lose every time he goes out, and people know it.
Well played. You're gonna have to take that, but I don't have to fix it down, man.
I know he's had that up there for 3 years, man. Up there for 3 years.
Y'all don't understand. The Superman Stevenson curse and HBO leaving boxing, Floyd Mayweather, all that goes hand in hand. Look at this. Do you not realize that the last fight that HBO is planning to show has one of the main victims of the Superman Stevenson curse in it?
Jean Pascal. I know.
And the first two people that they let Floyd get away, and then they let the fighter of the year get away. They have been doomed and going backwards ever since. Yes, they had a pay-per-view here and there, but the Golovkin Canelo couldn't save them. They cursed.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to get into. That's another point I wanted to get into because, as I said earlier on this podcast before you guys came on, I did the math and I studied this further. Canelo, for the zone to even break even, they got to get 7 million subscribers per year for the Canelo fights to even break in for the next 5 years. My question is, can Canelo do that? Can he get that type of level of subscribers? So if you get 7 million subscribers per year, that's a total of 35 million subscribers. Can they get that? Can they get to that number in 5 years? That's a question with Canelo Alvarez fights. Can they do it? Any of you guys could jump in.
No. What the hell? No. Hell no. And then they all can't. They're gonna have to pay for rights to all other kind of sports and all this other shit. They can get that and still not make his money. You know what I'm saying? Not make the money for him and everything. Hell no, man. Canelo, man. That they gonna lose and that all goes away, bro. That all goes away. If
so you see, this is
fights, he lose.
Yeah. So basically, you see, this is a potential loss of investment for the zone, right?
Shot in the foot. Look like shot in the foot.
Does anyone do anyone know like the stipulations of the contract? Because it can't just be like guaranteed just like that, right? Like, what if Canelo start losing? Like, what if you have like multiple losses within that?
He already lost.
So who? To whom? So Layra and Floyd, right? That's what you're talking about, Layra and Floyd.
Yeah. He's already losing. Like, dog, they investing in the wrong damn sport. Like this.
I'm biased.
Yo,
shut up.
Yeah. See, Low Place thinks it's a potential loss investment. I think it is too, man, because I just don't see how. I could be wrong, but how could Canelo get that many subscribers in 1 year?
I'm not ahead, but it's doing biased.
I mean, man. It's just not Canelo, right? But just the whole stable. It looked like he's like, I'm not even gonna say Hearn, but it looks like Dazn's like building a strong stable, right? You don't think that he's gonna at least break even with all the motherfuckers he got there?
Yeah,
dang, bro. That means he had to get the whole Mexico population behind him. 7 million people.
per year to break even. Look how much money they're giving him. They're giving him $72 million a year.
Hey, it's already written in stone. That contract said they got to give him $365 million. So it's too late.
I'm telling you,
to think about numbers now.
Like, there's got to be some fucking stipulations with that contract. That is a lot of motherfucking money, man. Like, there's got to be something with it, man.
Canelo.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is like, what I know. One thing it does state that he has to give them championship level fights in that contract.
I mean, but they probably got the rights to every single last one of his damn fights and everything else and all kind of shit. And they say what they can. I mean, boxing crazy, man.
Below, even if you had Showtime, even if you had like all the old school Showtime Canelo fights and HBO fights, I still don't think that would be enough. Like 300, that's like a quarter. That's more than over like $250 million. Like that is a lot. Like you could buy a lot of enchiladas with that.
Like that, you got plans for more than just that, So maybe they can, but he's not bringing it out by himself. They just saying, "Oh, we got Canelo," and that's gonna I don't even see people commenting on Canelo like that. He's not.
But is Canelo not the biggest? But is he not the biggest draw in boxing? Isn't that who Floyd? Like by default, passed that torch to. Like who else is like
Canelo? Cotto gonna come out of retirement and fight him again? What's the shit we doing? What we doing? Well, I think he can't be Callum Smith. He can't be Callum Smith. This man looking at losses quickly if he fight the right people. A potential loss. No. Don't believe it. Don't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man. Like I said,
you don't have to fight Callum Smith, bro. He can move up and down on it if you want.
Well, that depends on who they match him up against. This is what I'm worried about. It's like you giving him all his money, but can he attract that large of an audience? Me personally, I don't think he can. He can attract an audience. Yeah,
they might pair him up with Callum Smith. He need to pay days as well. They trying to get him on something. They trying to promise him something. So
I'll be fair. Canelo could lose 7 times, and if he puts on great fights and fights Jarrett Hurd, Charlo, Jacobs, Devin, I wouldn't even care. I'd be buying the zone.
You never even need
that. Ain't happening.
If you fight like look at Arturo Gotti, man, lost many times for real, but he got paid.
They gonna fight Conor McGregor.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that, man. But yeah, Floyd, I think Canelo, man. I want EJ's input on this one, man. Why, EJ? Unmute yourself. Man. Yeah, okay. Why is Floyd trying to undermine Canelo, man? Why is he doing that in the zone? Why is he?
Why is he what? What was the question?
Why is he undermining Canelo and De La Hoya in the zone, man?
He's just trolling them, man. That's just trolling them. That's what he does. He's trolling them. And also, like, he gets the light back to him and his fighters and the guys on his stable and just staying relevant. I'm not gonna lie to you, if you really think about it, I know like a lot of fighters we talk about the old greats, but I think Floyd's the king of social media. I know people think Conor
fell off.
Yeah, EJ, you fell off, bro. You need to get back in. But anyways,
I think that was Floyd. Like Floyd put the hit out on him.
Yeah, Floyd put the hit out on him. He'll get back in. But
yo, Dan, I got a question for you, boss. Like about the Canelo, bro. Like considering that Canelo just fought Triple G twice, you don't feel like he's like, should we be this hard on him? Like, should we expect him to fight Charlo and then fight Andrade and then fight
if Billy he has Joe, that belt? Yeah, if he has that belt, he is a WBA and WBC champion and the lineal champion. So yeah, we expect him to fight those guys.
Yeah, that's the price, right? That's the price you pay for being unified, right, EJ?
Yeah, that's right. When you the best, you supposed to fight the best. That's what all the guys did at the top, yeah. But like I said to you, right, when it comes to Floyd, he's the king of social media, bro. Like when anything he says, it has weight, bro. It has weight. Like he grew up in that social media, and he still controls the power. You know what I mean? The guy's never lost. There are people like they fall on Floyd's words and everything like that. So Oscar De La Hoya hasn't got that. Oscar De La Hoya grew up like when he was doing these things before in the 2000s. He ain't got that weight. None of them. And Canelo don't talk on social media. You know what I mean? So when Floyd's saying these sort of things, and he's Al Heyman's guy, he's kind of an extension of Al Heyman, and he's trying to put undermining us. I looked on if you go on Oscar De La Hoya's Instagram, He goes, there's a lot of salty people out here because I've signed with Zone. And I was thinking, who's he talking about? Like, is he making shots at Al Heyman? Is he shotting at Eddie Hearn, whatever? But Bob Arum, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a backwards and forwards thing. But like, whether Canelo fights, whatever, he's got paid. That's what we do know. He's got paid. So at this point, he can fight whoever he wants to fight. You know what I mean? I don't expect him to put his neck out and fight. But maybe does the Zone push him like that way? Do they tell him like Showtime? Do they tell him like Showtime with Floyd was trying to fight people like Marcus McDonough and Robert Guerrero? Do they tell him, nah, bro, we need a Pacquiao, we need a Canelo? Do Zone do that to him? Do they do that to him and tell him, we've signed you and we want you to fight the belt? I don't think they do that. I think they're just happy to have him there. You know what I mean?
I think so too. I have a feeling too, but they did say though, however, part of the deal is that he has to provide championship level fights for them. So I mean,
championship level, but not other Hall of Famers.
That's a good point. So here's the thing: he can fight a bum, and he's still defending his titles. So that's a championship.
There you go.
Somebody
they're not. The Zone is not boxing savvy like HBO and Showtime. They're not boxing savvy because they're MMA. So they're just happy that he puts on showcase fights, and Oscar will do that. They're like, bro, we've got the money. We've got 11 fights. We can fight a great fight later on down the line. We're just going to continue. You know what? It's going to be very interesting to see if he can. I mean, 11 fights. I don't know if his body can hold up, man. That's a lot of fights, man. I don't know. So he's going to have to fight someone. But I don't think he'll. I think he'll stay away from the main guys. But Canelo's one of them guys that if you roll up on him, he's very proud Mexican, like you see with Lara. I think if you want to fight with him, why don't you roll up on him? Roll up on him, and let's get it on. So I'm saying.
Somebody need to call Floyd on this bullshit. So just say, man, hey, shut the fuck up, man. Just stay retired. I'm about sick of you and your bullshit.
Why would he do that, though? Why would he do that, though? He's a promoter. He's not like he's a finished fighter. He's
a horrible promoter.
There's fights out there.
Yeah,
why would you say that? Why would you say that? If he's a horrible promoter, how come he makes the most money in boxing?
Go ahead.
He can't be a horrible promoter. He makes the most money in boxing. Anything he touches turns to gold.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, man. He's one of the best promoters in boxing. If you're a fighter, all right. Let me ask you a question. What does De La Hoya and what does Eddie Hearn do with Tank Davis? Like when they got Tank, like, do you think they're gonna make him Tank Davis? Because I was there at the press conference, bro. I was there when Floyd was there at the press conference with Tank, and he asked Tank questions. Tank ain't got no words, bro. Floyd started hyping up and started arguing with the other camp. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Floyd brings a lot to the table. When Floyd starts promoting,
like what?
Come on, EJ. You're gonna let him. He's a very good promoter.
Well, let EJ finish, y'all. Let EJ finish. Go ahead, EJ.
Floyd is a very good promoter, right? When Floyd went in Conor McGregor, right, and that whole thing MMA, right, and obviously with money with his promotion shit, that shit brought everyone together, MMA and boxing. Like, Floyd is a tremendous promoter, right? He's one of the best Hall of Fame boxers. He's a tremendous promoter. And when he goes out on social media, everyone talks about it. When he starts putting shade on Oscar De La Hoya and them, they know they can't deal with him because they're not built like that. Floyd's what you call one of the modern day little Don King. Modern day Don King out here. That's what Floyd is.
Badu Jack is a Mayweather fighter, and I don't know if you're talking about money or success, but I see a promoter in Floyd Mayweather that got his guy to fight for the lineal title twice in less than 3 years in 2 different divisions. Yes. I don't know no other promoter doing it like that. I'm gonna give him his credit. I'm gonna give him his credit. He's doing all right with me.
Let me say this, man. Let me say this.
He's been doing it exclusively for about 2 or 3 years. It's just been 2 or 3 years.
You mean one fighter, Lo? That's one fighter, a fighter that you like. But what about the other state? What about his stable?
Tank Davis.
Isn't that the sign? Isn't that a sign? Isn't that the sign of a good promoter?
He was champion in boxing. He was the youngest champion in boxing.
Wait. Let me get into that. Nobody's wrong here, but I will say this though. Floyd is very good at self-promoting. We can't take that away from him. Very good at. When it comes to his other fighters, yeah, dude, he does a bad job with them. That's the reason why they all left, because they weren't getting dates to the fights that he promised them. That's a fact. You know, Savannah Marshall, Luis Aries, who else? I'm not saying they were great caliber fighters, but Mickey Bay, who was one of his best fighters at the time. So it's like he's very good at self-promoting, but it's like those other guys, he wasn't doing a good job promoting them, man.
Man.
Jack, I do give credit for Tank Davis, but let's not pretend he's done a great job across the board. He's done a terrible job.
Everybody's gonna hit or miss. Yeah, every boxing promoter is terrible in that sense, then, because
Okay,
they
what-
done lost somebody.
All right, well,
I mean, every boxing promoter's lost somebody. But when we
So
talking about
if you want to be fair, if you want to talk about how
well.
Broner, if you're talking about how Broner got that title shot, you can see that was Al Heyman more than it was Floyd.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But he's not under Floyd's umbrella, bro. We're talking about under Floyd's umbrella. These guys, what I'm going to say to you, these guys are nobody. Like Buddy Jack's he's from Switzerland. Tank is one of them guys that he could have ended up like
but do
he
nice.
could have ended up like a Emmanuel Augustus. Emmanuel Augustus was a great fighter, but he used to get shit. He used to get robbed because he never had a strong promoter. When you're under Floyd shit, Jesse Vargas. I remember Jesse Vargas when he was under Floyd, and they were trying to get him to fight Amir Khan. Only because Floyd talked about this guy that people knew who Jesse Vargas was. When Floyd talks about you, trust me, people pay attention, because Floyd does one of them guys that when he was coming up, social media came at the same time, and he doesn't just leave it. Like anyone, I talk to promoters, right? The promoters like Frank Warren told me, that Floyd is one of the most hardest working promoters I've ever seen. I can't believe how hard this man works of waking. He makes sure he covers every social media, everything, all of them, and he makes sure he does his rounds on everyone and make sure everyone's involved all the time.
Okay.
I don't think you guys see the hard work he puts in with his fighters, and that's why a lot of the times, when you see them, that when Floyd has an undercard or a show, that we all see to say, okay, Floyd's got a fight undercard. Let's see if these fighters are going to get beat. Let's see if they're going to get knocked out, because people like seeing these fighters get beat, though. But people tune in, though, right? Go ahead.
That's true. No, you're right. But what I'm saying is this: how can you say he's a tremendous promoter? You say he was a great promoter, a tremendous promoter.
Yeah.
He argues and downplays his fighters and try to like you don't jump on social media and talk down about the fighter that you're promoting. You don't think that's the sign of a good promoter?
Bob Arum does that, and De La Hoya kind of.
No.
He did that to ring it out.
Let me
and we ridiculed him for it, right?
De La Hoya contradict Canelo when he said, I don't think Canelo should fight Lara, because if I had my way, I'd stay away, but Canelo demanded it, right? And that's his promoter. Bob Arum does the same thing when he was talking with Manny. Manny will say something, no, Manny doesn't mean that, he means something else. There's constantly undermining by the promoter. When Floyd goes out against his fighter, if you want to Floyd only wants the best for his fighter, and he's trying to say that staying away from certain areas and being with me is the best thing. But I'll be honest with you, when it comes to fighting and producing fighting, I think fighters need grit and dirt. I believe they need to be in hard environments. Floyd doesn't give you that, bro. He gives you luxury. So if you feel like you're in luxury, how can you? Where's your hunger coming from? And I feel like a lot of times when people roll with Floyd, that's why some of them don't make the weight. That's why they make the weight.
You make a good argument, but it's hard to believe that when 80% of the stable left him. It's hard to believe that. Did they do better without him though? I'm not really concerned about the people who left him, because end of the day, did they do better without Floyd? I'm not too sure. Yeah, they did. Samantha Marshall's getting fights with McKinney.
Samantha Marshall, is she fighting for a title?
Not yet, but she's getting dates.
Wait,
hold on. She had one fight. She had one fight. She only had one fight on the TMT brand. She was on the show for more than a year and a half, and then she got tired of it. She went over to McKinney. She already had 3 fights already.
Yeah, she's with Peter Fury. What I'm trying to say, listen to this, right? Her division. First off, her division is not easy. There's not many girls, right, where she is in her area. Most of the girls are Latin America. First and foremost, you're dealing with women's division, and you're dealing with that division. Not many fights in the division. When she with Floyd, Floyd's trying to get her fights, and it was very hard to go getting fights. It's best for her to come to England to get fight, but she's only had one fight. And the thing is, the Claressa Shield fight, that's the fight she won, but Claressa Shield don't want her. All the opposite, it's very hard to find fights for a woman fighter. Like, if you have a woman fighter underneath you, do you know how hard it is to fight? And she's big. Like, her weight class, there's not many girls in there, and they don't want to fight Savannah Marshall, so it's very hard. So Floyd tried his best. I was there at the press conference when Floyd introduced her, because at the same time, it was there when Tank introduced her at the same time. Floyd was going to help her and stuff like that, but it's very hard. This girl's a big, tall girl. People see her. They don't want to fight her. She's with Peter Fury. She's only had one fight with Peter Fury, so it's not like she's ultimately active. When's the last time she fought? One fight? Like, I don't understand.
She
like,
had three
why
fights, bro. She had 3 fights, but she could go out and
I don't know. I didn't see I've only seen one fight on TV, so it's not like she's breaking out. And to be fair, women's boxing is not overall is not doing good. Who else is there? Who else has done better without Floyd? Because I don't think Savannah Marshall is.
Well, Fei's been getting fights even though they're not televised, but at least he's active.
Who?
Ashley Fei. Ashley Fei.
Ashley Fairfax still with Floyd.
No, he's not. He left Floyd.
No. Ashley Fairfax, that Buddy Jack. Yeah, but the thing is, even if he's left Floyd, who was Ashley Fairfax before Floyd?
It doesn't matter, boy. The fact is,
it does. That's what I'm going to tell you. When you get with Floyd,
you keep moving the goalposts,
who
bro.
was he before? And then you know what? What is he doing? And what is he doing now? Because he came against Canal. He had that fight against Canal on a big stage. And what did he do? Run and take it. Then Floyd gave him Broner. Like, what do you mean Floyd supposed to do? He gives you fights against Broner. If he beats Broner, he's a superstar.
Yeah.
If he beats Canal, you know what I'm saying to you?
You got a point there. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that.
All right, there you go. Thank you. There you go. All right.
but you know what? I'll give you that one. But here's Derek Williams in the chat. He don't kind of agree with you with that Floyd Mayweather Don King comparison as a promoter. Derek Williams say, look.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you this, right? That's cool. I'm gonna tell you this. If you're up and coming fighter and you're not very big on social media, and you go with Floyd, automatically Floyd puts you on his social media and all these platforms. Because remember, again, he's on all social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of them. He puts you on his platform. You'll be known in a week, bro. You'll be known in a week. That's just the way it is. Okay, even look at this, right? And she's not even a boxer. Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson was where is she now? Where's she now? Is she with Nelly? No one knows who she is, bro. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, it's really hot, bro.
Yeah, that whole work. She working at Del Tacos now, I believe.
Yeah, thank you. There you go, right? There you go. So you know what I'm saying? One of the best promoters in boxing. One of the best.
He ain't the best promoters in boxing. He's good at self promoting.
If you're Mayweather fighter, you know you're nice, bro. You're nice. You can roll up. You know you're nice.
Hey, Dan, man, we was having an argument yesterday, and I told him that I thought Floyd Senior as a trainer is overrated. I said, man, if you want to be a great fighter, you better stay away from Floyd Mayweather in his gym, man.
No, I have to disagree. Floyd Senior is a great trainer. He's a very great trainer.
And how is that? Who else has he trained besides Floyd, though?
Chad Dawson. He trained Chad Dawson when he was at his best. The Darrells, Andre Darrell, De La Hoya. Yeah.
I can't say the level of people he beat was just so astronomical that he couldn't have beat him without Floyd. Even you can say that with Chad Dawson.
Oh man! First of all, Floyd Senior has rejuvenated some of these guys' career.
You don't know who Chad Dawson doesn't beat. You you dissing Chad Dawson record and resume?
Don't do that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said you can't say that.
The level that he's beat. Come on, never mind, bro. It's on you. It's all good.
Okay, how long did he have Chad Dawson? I want to be thorough here.
It's all good, man. You got it.
No, I want to be thorough. I wanted to be thorough.
Nah, you got it. We debated this already. I completely disagree. This dude is telling the dude who may win the greatest fighters of all time from Florida, he's overrated. That's fucking ridiculous. I mean, it's like telling the dude. It's like telling the dude who made Gmail. You know what I'm saying? Because Gmail didn't make another Gmail. You're overrated.
Yeah.
Well, you crazy, bro. He made Gmail. You don't gotta keep working. You know what I'm saying? This is like, it's my prodigy. That's what can make a trainer that a prodigy, bro.
And look,
people do that because just like if I were to say something like if somebody would come to me and say James Cameron is an overrated director, and because he made Avatar, it's such a
wait. Let me ask another question. Pat, let me ask you a question. How is Floyd Senior an overrated trainer? Explain to us. Break it down right now.
Because as far as doing good with his son, he did really good. But I think it was. Mostly a part of because Floyd, he's a family full of boxers, so she wouldn't do as good at training other fighters. And that's why.
Every movie comes from the ground.
Hold up, y'all. Let me ask you this: so he did not rejuvenate Oscar De La Hoya and Chad Dawson's career? He didn't do a good job.
I don't think so. I mean,
he made them better boxers, dog, and not just that. Floyd. once he got out of jail and started training Floyd became a better boxer, a better defensive fighter.
Sure that you're not just having a placebo effect now that the Floyd Senior was in his corner, because anybody can think anybody is great when they're at that level. Because Floyd was really good at that level. That's why he thought he was the best trainer for him.
Nah, his whole style. By the time he got to 147, Floyd was a different fighter. He was more defensive, and he attributed that to his father. And
I want to know specifically what in his style changed.
Dude, have you followed Floyd Senior's career as a trainer?
Okay, yeah. See,
Floyd Senior's trained just about all. Like he's trained damn near.
Dude, this dude.
The conversation ain't going nowhere, bro. Nobody just done. But the example you gave with James Cameron and Avatar, dog. Every time a director makes a movie, he's producing a baby from ground up. You don't get. That is not what you get as a boxing coach. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It's your baby to do as you please with.
There's a group of people just like a gym. There's a group of people just like a gym that set up everything. You have a screenwriter, you got your producer, man. You got your
and they all under you. They under you. You're right there with you or under you.
No,
you just said Floyd came from a family. Now you saying they got a little family under them, and he can't.
That's not always the case. The trainer is not head of everything in the gym. He's not. He's not the trainer of everything. He can choose whether or not what trainer he wants to hire.
You got to go down the list and find somebody to put the shine on, because you ain't did it yet. Who are you going to put the shine on? Who are you putting it on? Since somebody in that gym, it's one of those trainers. Hold on. It must be one of those trainers in Michigan that we don't know about to put the shine on. Right?
Probably more Roger than Floyd. Probably more Roger, because Roger, he's the one who actually, the only thing about him, he just started deteriorating. He couldn't train him as easily because he started deteriorating. Floyd was mostly that. He was mostly his corner man for like telling him advice in the corner, and I think Roger was the one that really,
let me ask you this. Battle. So you telling us Floyd Senior didn't do a good job with John Guzman?
I didn't know he trained Guzman, but I guess he did. Juan Guzman, he's really underrated. He probably could have went further in his career. I don't know what happened to him. I just looked at him a little. His
what about what he's doing with Devin Haney right now? You don't think he's an exceptional fighter for his age?
Yeah, but most of what Devin Haney's been taught, it wasn't it from his dad?
Oh, come on, man. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're trying to discredit one of the best trainers of our modern time, dude. You can't do that, man. You can disagree with some of the things he said, but he's a damn good trainer. He rejuvenated one of the best Hall of Fame, one of the best fighters of this generation, Hall of Famer Oscar De La Hoya. He's been training his career. He has another Hall of Fame fighter on his resume, Floyd Mayweather. So he's trained 2 Hall of Famers, multiple world champions. So how can you say this man's not a good trainer? How can you say he's overrated?
He has a team full of trainers.
Okay, so you're saying Abel Sanchez don't have a team full of trainers? Are you saying Abel Sanchez is better than Floyd Senior?
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying
so is Abel Sanchez overrated?
Yeah, Abel Sanchez is overrated. When I defend Abel Sanchez, I'm mostly trolling, but I will say.
So by that saying, Golovkin is overrated fighter because Abel Sanchez is overrated trainer.
Yeah, I never rated Golovkin as big as HBO did. I just knew he would beat people other than what he said he would. I never said that.
And another thing, well, where is the world just praising Floyd Senior? They don't give him awards, and they don't do that shit. They treat him like a joke because where are they praising him?
But they give Freddie Roach. They give Freddie Roach Coach of the Year type shit. So what?
What they rating?
We can answer this. We can deal with this real quickly. Who would you like? Yeah, to train you. So you're a pro fighter, right? And your career, right? And you only have 2. You have Floyd Senior and you have Freddie Roach. Who would you like to be trained by?
Man, I don't know. I wouldn't pick any of them. I can pick.
No, you have to. I had them 2 because the reason why I'm trying to say that one's defensively and one's offensively. Yeah, trying to make you go out there. Who would you like to go with?
I guess I would get Freddie Roach then.
Wow. Yeah, that's why you get your head knocked off. Everyone out here would know that you go with Floyd Senior. That answers that question right there, because you see what I'm trying to say to you. Freddie Roach, you get your head knocked out, and you get Al Simons, bro. That's what I have to say. But that don't make no sense. That don't
You
make no
said-
sense, bro. Because
TJ,
everyone knows that Floyd would make
listen
you
to what
Floyd would
you're
make your
saying.
career longer. Because
Listen to-
Oscar got with when Oscar got with Floyd,
TJ, listen
he
to
prolonged
what
his
you're saying.
career.
Battle.
Floyd
Let
can
EJ
make
finish. Go ahead, EJ.
Floyd will make your career, right? Because his style is not based on reflexes. Yeah, it's about when people punch of catching their punches and coming back, catch and shoot styles, right? Catching their punches, rolling back. Freddie Roach on the other hand is built on volume and work rate, yeah. But bro, it ain't built on when punches come, when you miss and you get knocked out on the floor, bro. How many times have Floyd Mayweather Senior and you see his fighters laid on the floor because the battle that
All
would
the
happen to you.
time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah?
All the
Floyd
time.
Senior, Floyd
Hey,
Senior.
Dan, let me.
Floyd
Yeah.
fighters
Hold
get
up.
knocked
Let
their
him bias
head
get
off
it.
all the
Bias.
time.
Floyd
I mean,
Senior.
all
Okay,
the
so you talk
time.
about who? Okay, about who's been laid out? Floyd Senior. You're Mickey Bay. You talking about Mickey Bay, right?
You got Mickey Bay. You got Jay
Yeah.
Leon Love. You got that Miller dude who
JD on
who was
Love.
fighting.
Floyd Senior don't trade JD on Love. He never traded JD
He
on Love.
did train Jay Leon
No,
Love.
he didn't.
not.
No, he
never
didn't.
trained
No, he
Jalen
didn't.
Love. What
No,
are
he
you
didn't
talking
train
about,
Jalen
bro?
Love.
Okay, well,
No, he didn't. Go ahead, go ahead, bro.
somebody else. Okay,
Wait,
so
let Battle
who else
finish.
is
Let
on-
Battle
who else
finish. Go ahead,
Who
Battle.
else is on
Finish.
Floyd Senior's he's on the table. I'm trying to think. Did he
Macklin.
train
Yeah, that's
Battle Jack?
it.
He trained
That's it.
Macklin.
Okay. Yeah, he hadn't too, but go ahead, unbiased. What's
No,
up?
he trained.
Yeah, Hat was
Matthew-
put on his butt.
Hold on, he trained Matthew Macklin as well. He trained Oscar De La Hoya, who's a good fighter.
Wait, I don't think he trained Matthew Mack for a long time.
He
Though.
never
I'm
trained
not
Matthew
sure.
Macklin. Floyd Senior never trained Matthew Macklin. Who told you
Yeah,
that?
I don't
He did.
think he. Yeah,
No, he never trained Matthew Macklin. No, he didn't.
No, he never trained Matthew Macklin. He trained again. He's trained Layla Ali, who's some considered
Yeah. Roger trained Manuel Ali. Roger trained her. But listen to this, right? You said loads of times, Battle, so you're wrong on that one. But anyway, when you answering that question,
No. If I can find a name,
you answered that
name.
question. You answered that question right there about the trainers. That shows your mentality. I don't think you understand boxing. I don't think you understand because I think if I ask everyone here on the panel, I think most people here would pick Floyd Senior because they understand what he would do for their career. You know what I'm trying to say to you? And it don't make no sense. You go with Freddie Roach, you go out there get knocked out. But that's cool, though.
because it does make sense because good defense takes really good time. Really good defense takes really good time to develop. Everybody can't fight behind their shoulders really good. So I'm a short.
teach you that.
What? No. I would have to learn it. You said if I had to choose one, I would choose.
Freddie don't teach no defense, bro. Freddie don't teach defense, bro. I told Freddie.
Wait, one at a time.
Hold on, wait. Who did he shoot? Wait,
let me
who did he
finish.
choose over?
Wait, let Battle finish. Let Battle finish. Go ahead, Battle. Then Delancey's get back in, and then AJ and Delancey's. Go ahead.
Great defense is perfected. I would try to learn how to perfect my defense without the help of Floyd Senior because I'll get hit on the top of my head too much. The Philly shell ain't good for me because I'm a short fighter. I wouldn't be able. I'll get hit on top of my head too much. There's no point of doing that. I would get Freddie Roach to get me to perfect my offense, and I'll perfect my defense on my own. That's why That's why you have.
So you're a short fighter. That means you're harder to hit. Well, what weight class are you talking about? What weight class? What weight class you talking about? Because if you're short, you're a smaller target. So what weight class you talking?
I'm like 5'9". So if I fought like at 154, I would probably be like a.
All right. 150. All right, 150. 150. Well, that's a decent because Canelo's not that big. Canelo's not that tall either. But what I'm saying to you is that right, you're with Freddie Roach, right? Freddie Roach is offensive mindedly. The reason why most people pick Floyd Senior because Floyd Senior understand the nuance of boxing. He's multi-dimensional. So he'll work on your jab, your hooks, your uppercuts. Then he's also talking about when they come back. Then he's also implementing. It's not built. It's not. Also, he's talking about your conditioning. All his fighters are in tremendous condition. Not like Freddie Roach, don't. But what I'm trying to say to you is that Freddie Roach, when you're trained by Freddie Roach, you know what time it is, bro. You're going out on your shield, bro. You're getting out there throwing 100 punches. And I see Battle just getting check cooked like Ricky Hatton out here, bro. Because that's what's gonna happen.
Well, let's just say this. Let me just say this real quickly. They're both good trainers. We're not gonna take this completely discredit Freddie Roach, but to EJ's point, if you're looking for a trainer who could teach you many ways of being not only good offensively but be very good defensively, that's where Floyd Senior comes in because he can teach you very defensively good. Freddie Roach cannot teach you that. He cannot do that. He can only teach you. Hold on. Let me finish. Hold up. No. Let me finish. Bruh. Let me finish. He can teach you to be a very good offensive fighter, as EJ pointed out, but he cannot teach you how to be very good defensively. Man. That's why most of his fighters get punched up easily. That's what most of them do, man. fact. Just like Abel
Mhm.
Sanchez, he's the same type of fighter who teaches guys more offense to be more defensively. That's right. These guys end up having dementia, having sight issues like Rafael Marquez, who he's blind in one eye.
Yep.
Society says you got Terry Norris, who's totally fucked up. You can't understand a word he says, even though he had a Hall of Fame career. So
actually, you can say Terry Norris. Terry Norris got punched up from all that sparring he did, just like James Toney. All that
who was in
sparring
that
he
sparring
did.
then? Who was in that sparring then? Who was part of that sparring? Abel Sanchez was part of that sparring, wasn't he?
He was
Wasn't
doing
he?
that. Guy with Abel Sanchez. He did it even after he was with Abel Sanchez.
Come on, man.
Nah,
You're doing
man.
sparring.
Well,
The
when he
trainers
got
there.
Abel Sanchez, that's when he got Abel Sanchez. Jerry Norris was with his dad. Jerry Norris was with his dad. When he got Abel Sanchez, that's when the beating started. Furthermore, that's when the
Okay.
go ahead.
Unbiased.
Norris.
No, battle. Go ahead, unbiased. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, I mean, Floyd Sr. did train Macklin in 2008 when he left Team Hatton. I was gonna post the link in the chat, but it won't let me. But
No, it's already posted.
He also trained the Darrells too. He trained the Darrells.
My bad. Oh, you know what? I forgot about that. My bad. Yeah, because Hatton and Matthew Macklin are best friends. Okay. All right. Hey, thanks for that, though. Yo, thanks for that. I didn't know that. Nice one. Unbiased.
Well, what I was gonna say is, I mean, I agree with EJ saying I would not want to be trained under Freddie Roach at any point in time. I mean, credit. He saw that Manny Pacquiao was talented and then just molded him into a fighter. But he was already a good fighter at that point. He just helped him and molded him into a better one. But Floyd Senior, he's a good trainer. But I'm gonna say this, man. The TMT stable as of today is not a good one.
They're trash. They get knocked on their heads.
Can we all agree to that though?
Floyd,
But TMT is a multiple of trainers, right? So he was talking about Floyd Senior. He keeps putting other fighters who are not with Floyd Senior. We're talking about Floyd Senior specifically. TMT as a brand is Floyd Mayweather's brand, and what we're talking about, when you're under the umbrella, you got to remember when Floyd went to jail, he was supposed to have Gamboa and Darrell, and I think he was supposed to have Billy Dibbs, right? When he went to jail, right, he couldn't sign them. 50 Cent took them and fucked up their career, right? Floyd was supposed to have these guys. So what Floyd did, Floyd dealt with the other guys who wanted them guys wanted to be with Floyd. Floyd liked them. Like, some of them are his friends from Detroit. Now, Floyd likes them. Like, Tank's probably the first talented fighter under his wing. I think Devin Haney, he's helping promote Devin Haney, but Devin Haney's doing his own thing, right? These guys are not specifically that talented. With Floyd with them, gives them shine. If Floyd wasn't with them, we wouldn't know who the fuck they were, right? You can criticize Floyd and some of the guys he talked with, but they're the guys who want to go with him. Because remember, you have to leave your lifestyle where you are and come to Vegas. That's what Floyd wants. He wants you to come to Vegas, hang out with him. And none of them, right? Floyd's successful as well. All he's trying to do is help another fighter come through, whether you think they're going to be talented or not. That's all Floyd's trying to do with these guys there. So don't expect like leaps and bounds to be like him. They're not gonna. He's trying to, but that's not gonna happen. He just likes up the idea of trying to build a fighter from scratch, trying to put them in positions so they can look after themselves. That's all it is, right? That's all it is. That's all you want for your fighter. If you're looking for Hall of Famers and stuff like that, maybe Floyd will be happy. But realistically, like most of them, they get into life like that, and they start eating their way. They start eating their way out of a fucking thing and can't make weight. Broner, he starts fucking with Floyd, he's out of weight. Like, I'm not saying Floyd's a bad influence, but Floyd's very rich, and you hang around with him. There's a lot of attention you wouldn't normally get, bro. So don't be sitting there being a critic when you can't see from the outside. Floyd's a very good promoter, but there's a lifestyle that you need to do, because remember Floyd had Roger and Senior over the top of him, and if he didn't do what they would, they'd whoop his ass. I'm not sure that some of the trainers would go that far with some of the fighters, because that end of the day, I'm in the gym. I'm a trainer. I'm in the gym with them, and I'm very hard on the guys. Yeah, I don't think some trainers love, because remember again, they ain't got Roger and Floyd, because that's why Floyd was so great. Roger was a multiple world champion, and Floyd fought Sugar Ray Leonard and all them guys there. They used to whoop Floyd's ass. You heard Floyd. He used to hate his dad, bro. He used to hate doing this and that. But when Floyd looked back at it, they made him great. And that's what you need to be great, bro. So you guys can sit and criticize, but the bottom line, to be a great fighter is very hard. You know what I mean? And Floyd's doing the best to be stable. They're not the best, but Floyd's getting the best out of them. That's all I can say.
Right. I agree. I agree.
One second. This dude in the chat, Hamid, bro, like, I don't know what cloth you cut from or nothing, but like, you don't see us going on people's channel like, we invite you on our channels. And you coming on here, you've named two different people on this chat, and you said you know, like just derogatory shit just to get some kind of laugh or whatever you're doing. I don't know the cloth you cut from, but we don't really do that on this side of the fence. We know you was once on the other side, but that shit you kind of need to clean up, bro. That shit doesn't really fly, and it ain't really cute. It's like some bogus. Like, for example, we got B Marsh that comes on here. If he's not on here, he's not gonna get in the chat and tell somebody you don't know shit about boxing, or I can't listen to this guy, and throw off, like, you know, try to get other people to agree, like, oh, I dislike this guy. That shit's gay, bro. That shit need to stop. You know what I'm saying? I think they was. No, I'm being honest. Because I wouldn't go to your channel and tell everybody on there, oh, you're this. No. I'll argue a point with you. But if I'm done arguing that point with you, there's no more to say about it. I don't agree with everything EJ Dan or Battle or Unbiased says. But at the end of the day, I'm not in the chat doing this girl shit you're doing, dog. That shit really don't fly. That shit's weak, bro.
What guy are you talking about?
No, you talking about Ahmed, man. Yeah, Ahmed, hey, brother. I got no problem with Ahmed. Ahmed is cool with being. You know, Ahmed, I might have Ahmed come.
I'm not saying not to speak to him, or don't. I'm just being real. Like, you right. The first one I see is EJ don't know shit about boxing. I go up and I see.
Oh man.
I go up and I see 2 hours of low place. I can't listen to this guy anymore. What? Dog, that's some shit you trying to throw off on the other people. That's some little sparkly girl shit that really ain't needed, dog. It's really not. Like, people take their times out to produce a hobby. Some people do it for money. Some people do it for potential money. Your little sprinkles of hate, bro. That's retarded. That's ridiculous. Nobody goes.
Let me say this to Hamed. Though. Hamed, you know, you and I are cool, man. We got no problems. But if you want to address EJ and low place, you're welcome to come on right now, man.
Yeah, but Hamed don't even know who Kevin Kelly is, bro. That's Hamed on my channel. I also don't know who Kevin Kelly is. So, like, low place. When you see the thing is, yeah, when you're talking, you got multiple people on the platform, and you're learning. Yeah, you're supposed to be learning. Like, everyone's learning together. Like, I didn't know that. I'm biased to show me that bloody Matthew Macklin was trained by Floyd Senior. You're learning. Yeah. So if he feels like his brain can't consume information, then boy, that's his understanding bit. That's to do with his mechanism. From the time you don't know who Kevin Kelly is, I can't really do. The guy needs help in it. Like when you say someone don't know shit about boxing, if you can come back and say that what I'm saying is wrong or why I'm wrong, then we could have a conversation. Up until that point, if you want to criticize someone, you should have something to come back with. So really and truly, I don't really pay attention to people that you're gonna mock here, but you can't break down why you think they're saying what they're saying, because everyone here knows what I'm saying is correct, right on point. You know what I'm gonna say? If that was the case, I won't be here, and that's why you're in the chat and we're on the platform. That's all I have to say about it.
I'm just saying, like you know, respect, dog. It's just some respect. Like you don't go in there and you come on here and you talk to people. And you know, I'm not gonna come on here and tell neither one of these guys, oh, I listened to you for this, I ain't never listening to you again type shit. Dog, that's some bullshit. That's not even welcome, in my opinion. That's weak as hell. That's just how it is.
What I want to know is,
yeah, let's get back to boxing. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Let me say this. Let me end it real quickly. Now, Hamed, I'll say this to you again, man. You're welcome to come on, man. The link is there. That's all I got to say. Now, let's get back to boxing. You want to say something like that?
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say, before I was going to ask you about the Bob Arum thing and how he seemed like he'd been applying pressure to PBC and trying to make these fights. But before that, how the fuck your name's Ahmed and you're in a boxing chat and you don't know who Kevin Kelly is?
I didn't know that, but y'all need to hash that out, man.
Hey, but his name Ahmed though, like.
I don't think PBC gonna announce nothing else for all of 2018. I think they satisfied with trying to make the Wilder pay-per-view and the Stevenson Vosdick joint, and that's it. Then in 2019, they're gonna try to shit on the game with three different two different platforms.
Yeah, I'm biased. You want to say something, brother? Go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say to EJ about the whole Floyd's a good promoter. I mean, from before, I don't think he's a good promoter, and I'm gonna just say because his star power overshadows his own fighters, so it kind of takes.
That's a good point.
It kind of takes away.
He doesn't put on good fights.
I'm biased. Yeah, I'm biased.
Well,
I'm
let
biased.
him finish. Let him finish, and then DJ come
Okay,
back.
go ahead,
I'm
go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say that it overpowers and overshadows his fighter. Now, I'm not saying that Floyd isn't like a good promoter for himself, because I think he's a fantastic promoter for himself. I mean, he makes like 300 million a fight, so I mean, it kind of says it for itself. But I think
Does
that
Floyd make good fights? Is the question. That's the question. Does he make good fights?
What fight has he made?
yeah, I mean, first,
What fights has he made?
Isn't L? Isn't it L?
DeGale,
Isn't
you got
L still?
DeGale Jack, you got Stevenson Jack, you got Jack you got Jack Groves.
one fighter.
Well, I mean,
You got.
like if you don't
Let me,
like those fights,
let me,
That's L Heyman, ain't it?
let me ask. Let me ask an unbiased question. Right, I'm biased. Yeah, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn does the same thing. When you see Eddie Hearn, he completely overshadows the fighters because sometimes these guys. I've been there with Tank, bro. You need to be able to see what I'm talking about. Tank can't talk, bro. He basically can't talk. He's very shy and he's in himself, right? Floyd had to come out and basically promote this guy because some of them don't talk. Now, if you look at some of the fighters, let's talk about Badu Jack and Tank in an example. Bro, these guys, their English they're not very good at talking. So then Floyd has to talk. If they could talk like Broner, if Floyd had got Broner, you think Floyd needs to talk? He only talked because these guys need it. Same with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's got loads of guys on his card. He like Tony Bellew can talk. He don't need to talk for him. But some of them guys like Callum Johnson, Callum Smith, bro, like Eddie's gonna be all over on that shit, bro.
So you saying personality? You talking about personality? You're not talking about being well spoken. You're not talking about being able to like convey, your thoughts and put them together correctly. You're talking about like personality wise, like promote yourself.
No, because what I'm talking about is that you understand what Floyd's saying. You don't have to convey and be eloquent with your words. None of that. I'm just trying to say you understand boxing jargon. When Floyd talking, you know what he's talking about. And when Floyd promotes these guys, guaranteed that all these guys get known. Their social media blows up. Whoever's with Floyd, like Andrew the Beast was fighting the other day. He's trained by Floyd Senior. I don't know if he was trained with him on the fight on the thing because that fight was awful. But bro, he's one of them guys coming through, right? Floyd promotes all the guys that are stable. He's very good at that. But what I'm trying to say, some of these guys are not very good at speaking. Understandably, it's not easy to come out and talk in front of how many hundreds of people. That's not easy to do, bro.
But look,
so, like,
devil's advocate. The devil's advocate would say, well, because Floyd is responsible for those guys, shouldn't he give them media training? That's what the devil's advocate would say.
What's media training? You listen. See, the thing is, right? Let me. I try and qualify this, right? When you're a fighter and you're in the gym, you're trying to master your craft, right? You're trying to master your craft in the gym. Now, after that, when you finish training, the last thing you want to do is go yap, like you be yapping about this, that, the other, and the third. No,
that's what you got to do.
But that's
what you got to do.
Hold on. No, this is what I'm trying to say. This is why Floyd goes with them because he helps them. So Floyd helps them. They don't need to do that when you're with Floyd. You don't need to. Floyd will do it for you and bring you in. That's what he does. But if you can do it, if you can talk already, then you don't need to. At that point, what do you need Floyd for? I mean, brother don't need Floyd.
If Floyd became the most successful promoter in boxing, then he can't talk for everybody, can he? He can't just be up on all these people.
That's what he does. That's what I'm trying to. This is stuff you don't understand what he does. He's one of the most hardest working promoters in boxing. He's constantly working, bro. The man's working overtime, contracts, doing this, doing that. He's constantly working, giving them deals, sponsorships, and then ticket selling. Then you got, bro, the man's doing everything. He won the. I'm telling you, bro. And that's why that McGregor Mayweather thing was so successful. Anything he puts his stamp on, guarantee. If Floyd fights Manny Pacquiao, you think that's not going to be a success. If Floyd fights Canelo for the middleweight belt, you don't think people are going to turn up for that. Now you're talking about, and then when he does that, he puts his fighters on the undercard. So
but all those guys you just named are stars, and they have their own like following. Like Manny Pacquiao has a big following.
Yeah,
Canelo has like all Mexican.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm trying to say to you, when Floyd fights them, he takes their fan bases. It's like the Highlander. If you fight, if I'm a boxer coming through, and when he beat a guy, he took all Gatti's fan base. That's what you do, right?
Floyd Mayweather made this card. This is his card. Tank Davis, Pedraza, DeGale Jack, New York, and guess what they got in Brooklyn now? They got a whole PBC Mayweather, DeBella whole thing in Brooklyn where they signed them to fight only in Brooklyn. That's promotion. That's working, dog. That's
good.
Shit right
yo,
there.
if that's true, Lo, I don't know where you got that from, but if that's true, yo, that's tight. I like that.
Yeah, the PBC has fights. They are basically that East Coast territory has been named the Barclays Center. Like the Brooklyn boxing, Floyd Mayweather, Lou DeBella, they promote all that shit now every time. Like, so he don't even have to sign Broner to be promoting Broner. Broner be on Mayweather Porter Broner was a Mayweather promotion card. What other fight? It's multiple ones like that, bro. This dude doing his thing, and it's a few years, and he don't even have to be giving us this. And you sitting on here saying, is he overrated? Is he good or not? Who gives a shit? He don't have to do this shit. He have no money in some of these boxers. He ain't got to invest in fucking Tank Davis.
Real quickly. I got Rock who came in the chat. What's going on, Rock?
We ain't getting no money from Floyd though.
Hold up. Man, what's up, Rock? Hold up. Rock. What's going on, man?
What's up,
Rock?
Nothing much.
That giving you a segue to jump in, bro. Like jumping in the debate, bro.
Yeah, man. Come on.
I don't have much to say, to be honest. I agree with Lowe on pretty much everything he's saying right now.
All right, there you
go. So let me ask Rock this question. So you think Floyd is a better trader than Freddie Roach?
Dude, that's not even close.
Let me ask you this.
If I'm juicing,
let me ask you this.
Hold on, let me ask Rock. Hold on, EJ, let Rock finish. Okay. You can ask. Go ahead, Rock.
If I'm on the juice, I'll go with Freddie Roach.
Hey, Rock, let me ask you this, right?
Go EJ.
Rock, you think Floyd Senior is overrated?
Nah, I mean, like I was saying in the chat for a minute. I mean, we watched him literally rebuild Oscar De La Hoya from one fight to the next. Oscar went from a puncher to a boxer.
Thank you.
He told Oscar how to beat Floyd. Oscar just couldn't maintain it for a whole fight.
See, the whole thing is like it would take a real hater to not admit that Oscar De La Hoya improved skill-wise, boxing skill-wise. Technically, it would take a real hater to admit that, and it would take a real hater to admit that.
And where can you tell me that he's improved?
Defense.
You like point him out. How? Where's the defense? Is he holding his hands a different way? Like what?
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't standing there.
Yeah, I don't think you see the fights, bro. You see
his posture, the way he evaded punches, the way he started to roll.
The Fernando Vargas fight, and the Ricardo Mayorga fight. What's that fight? Look how you could see he completely revolutionized his career, to change his style. I don't think you see that. I don't think you see like that.
You said Oscar De La Hoya wasn't favored to beat Ricardo Mayorga even without Floyd Senior, even without him moving up in 154.
Ricardo Mayorga at that time was the champion. De La Hoya was challenging for his belt.
Of course it is, but what if somebody like just if anybody came up at 154, like who was the champ before Ricardo Mayorga? Who did he beat at 154?
I don't know.
Michelle Petrella. The point is, wait. Let me say this.
We're talking about inside the ring, his skills. What did he improve or not? Is what we're saying.
Exactly.
And it doesn't seem like he couldn't have did as much because Oscar De La Hoya is already a good fighter. He could have went 150.
But I don't think
we're talking about improvements. We're talking about improvements.
I don't think you realize that Oscar beat Fernando Vargas and Fernando Vargas popped dirty after the fight.
Yeah,
exactly.
Even if you had Fernando Vargas hurt and Oscar De La Hoya had his head through the ropes, bro.
Wait, let me tell you something. A lot of people, let me tell you something. People were accusing De La Hoya for ducking Vargas for years, okay? They thought Vargas was going to knock this guy out. Vargas was a naturally bigger man who had good boxing skills, much stronger. You didn't see the way he was mauling De La Hoya in that fight? He was.
That's what I'm saying. So what did Floyd do?
And Oscar was out of
the Without Floyd, you could argue that Vargas possibly would have won that fight.
He wouldn't have got his way.
His defense got him to win. His ability was.
You know what it was when he got beat by Shane Mosley. When he got beat by Shane Mosley, when he got beat by Shane Mosley, he realized that the shame because he was too flat-footed and too square in that fight in 2000, and that's why he changed. After that, he said, "Nah, I can't fight this way." And also the change was coming when he got beat. And in my opinion, he got beat by Ike Corte. I don't care what anyone tells me.
I thought he lost that.
Bro, he was getting lit up, bro. He was getting lit up flat-footed. The thing is, battle likes. His favorite fighter already is Lomachenko, and his favorite fighter is Triple G. Yes, you said your favorite fighter is Sergio Kovalev. Sorry, Sergio Kovalev. Yeah, Sergio Kovalev and Triple G. That's your favorite fighters, right?
Wait. Let EJ finish. Go ahead, EJ.
You look at them guys, yeah. They're your favorite fighters, right? They're flat-footed, walking with their chins forward. That's the type of guys you like, right? De La Hoya realized For him to prolong his career, for him to prolong his career, he had to change the style, and that style helped his career long. But when he changed back to his flat-footed, then he got stopped by Manny Pacquiao.
Can I say something real quick about Floyd Senior?
Go ahead, Lo.
Floyd Senior is the only person that could claim he has a win over Canelo, Pacquiao, and McGregor all at the same time. Overrate that.
Floyd Jr.
Overrate that.
He brought himself.
That's all I'm saying.
He brought himself.
Okay, Battle. Go ahead, Battle. Go ahead.
You can't take that credit away from him. That's his son who did it. He didn't do it. You can't just say that Floyd Senior trained Oscar De La Hoya
that he built up from the bottom.
With his family, bro. You
Freddie Roach shouldn't get no credit for Manny Pacquiao. Them things to take. We did take away.
He did get credit for Manny Pacquiao.
He did get credit for Freddie Roach's compliments. We should take all of Freddie Roach's compliments of what Manny Pacquiao did it by himself.
No, I didn't say no.
Why we gave you this last night? We gave you this last night. You're getting it again. It's crazy.
Freddie Roach is horrible.
Nobody in the chat agrees that Floyd Mayweather Sr. is a bad trainer.
I ain't talking just this.
Here's the thing, though. You can say what you want about Floyd Senior, what he did outside the ring, but when he's far as training his fighters, his record's impeccable. You can't dispute that.
How is it impeccable?
Let's switch topics.
I'm confused. If you go to Oscar De La Hoya, let's finish this up right now. If you go to Oscar De La Hoya, who else can you name?
I told you, Joe Guzman, Chad Dawson, Layla Ali, who he helped train with his brother Roger. So what do you? I mean, what else? What else do you want, man?
I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand. He rebuilt a Hall of Fame fighter and made him better.
Rebuild him.
And most trainers
you can't
have one fighter under their roster.
You can't train fighters.
Is one of the only U.S. promoters that let this guy get in the World Boxing Super Series. I'm just gonna throw that out there. He's a bad promoter.
Right. Floyd.
I'm just saying he is. That's the truth. He's one of the only U.S. promoters of note with a big name that let this guy get in the World Boxing Super Series.
Well, then who promotes Rob Brandt? Wait, who promotes Rob Brandt? Rob Brandt got determined.
No one knows. No one knows.
Rob Brandt.
No, I'm just saying the one of the only big name. You don't see an Oscar fighter. You don't see the 140-pound champion. What's Ramirez? I think it's there right now. Damn. Ain't that
I think Oscar can get the star power to put his fighters in there. Maybe it was just
they ain't in there. Yeah. They ain't in there. You know what I mean? So
let's be honest.
It's just the whole battle. You the same one telling us. It just seems like a problem you have. And I'm gonna say you're telling us Floyd's not good as a promoter. You're telling that his father's not good as a trainer. Is anything else you want to tell us about the Mayweather?
Boxing is never as person as you think it is, but I would say that you can say Oscar De La Hoya can put some of his fighters in there. I don't know why they didn't do it, but he just didn't do it. You know, it's all good. You know
what? Okay, you know what? Apparently, hold on. Apparently, we're not gonna change Battle's mind, but the facts are the facts, man. You can't distort it. Plain and simple. He the Hall of Fame his career. The man went on to win more titles in different weight classes, fought tougher and better opponents throughout his career with Floyd Mayweather Sr. on his side. So that's nothing you can dispute on that one. But go ahead, Rock.
Hey, Dan, I was just going to say, anybody that know Low Place know he is not a Mayweather nut hugger. So if he giving him credit, it got to stick. That's how I feel.
I like Mayweather. I like Mayweather, but I just think like get out the game type shit. Like when he was, trying to confuse Showtime and take dates and from fight. Oh, okay, bag up, let these people get their shine, get your money some other time type shit. But no, this don't make no sense.
I ain't saying you don't like Mayweather. I'm just saying like you've never been afraid to like be critical of him. So
I do Jack out here fighting anybody, and you telling me I shouldn't be happy as Floyd as a promoter? Dog, I don't know what to do.
All right, let's switch.
I'll tell you one thing to finish this off, man. If I'm a trainer, I'm hiring Dan Birmingham. I'm probably hiring Bo Mack, or I'm hiring somebody like a Nacho Bernstein.
Yeah,
I'm hiring him for a senior.
Bo Mack. Okay, I'll give you Bo Mack.
Freddie Roach.
Battle, can I ask you something? Battle, can I ask you something?
Good gosh. What did he say there, bro?
Badu Jack's not a star at all, right? He's not a star at all, right? Battle? Yes or no?
He's probably a star. Yeah, he got his Polish background.
No, he's not a star. No, let's be honest. He ain't doing no ratings. He ain't
But he still got
doing
his
no
Polish.
ratings and commanding.
He got
Over here in the States, is Badu Jack a star? Let's be real.
no, not really.
Okay, so why is his resume one of the best when all you see in boxing today is resumes of stars like Canelo? They're the only good resumes sometimes.
Well, I'll give him that. I'll give role plays that because Battle Jack, despite the draws, he does have some very good wins on his record.
So how is he a bad promoter? What are you asking? Are you saying that he needs to make a star or he needs to make great fights? Which one?
He just needs to get his fighters busy. That's all. That's what the argument is, man. He doesn't have to make a star every fight. Some fights. That's what the argument was. But anyway, let's switch it. Go ahead, Battle. Go ahead, finish up, and then we'll switch to the conversation.
So, are you arguing for Floyd Mayweather Jr. as a promoter or Floyd Mayweather Sr. as a trainer? Like, which one are you arguing?
I think you've done both of them. You dismissed both of them, both areas, and I was just nitpicking either one. I just, like I told you, Floyd Mayweather is part of the PBC owning the Barclays Center. Like HBO couldn't get in the Barclays Center. That was half their damn problem. The shit was hot over there, you know. You wanted to get fights over there. No, they had to stay over there in the garden. They own the damn Barclays Center in boxing right now.
The little garden.
Okay, I'll give you that.
The theater room. But let me just say this. Let's go switch the topics because we got to talk about this, man. Bob Arum came out and said, look, man, if they don't want to talk to us, man, that means they don't want the fight. We're talking about Errol Spence people, PBC.
Yep.
Yes, Crawford. So he said, look, if they're serious, we can make this fight happen right now. We can take 3 hours to get it done. Which I don't believe, but Bob Arum seems like he's calling them out, man. He's like, you guys want the fight or you don't want the fight? So what's your take on that one? Anybody could jump in.
I think Bob is ready to make the fight. He has to. He just did a 7-year deal with ESPN. He got big money, so I think he needs to make the biggest fights. I don't know if Spence wants the fight because he's the only one out of the two that is putting up barriers to make the fight, saying he don't fight on any other platform besides Fox and what's it, Showtime. And he's supposedly supposed to be a free agent. So if you're a free agent, then you should be able to move and negotiate wherever you would like, which to me sounds like he is not a free agent. And in fact, he has a boss and his name is Al Heyman. So I think that maybe if they want to meet in the center and make the fight, then I'm for it. But if not, then, there's what it is.
All right. Well, anybody else want to have something to say about that? I mean, we haven't heard anything from Spence ever since that call out again. So anything from Spencer his side. So what's the deal with that?
Yo, what's crazy is I don't think we've heard anything from him, period.
Wait, I can't hear you. Hey, Latin's, you're far away, bro. You want to speak up?
Come on back. Can you hear me now, man?
Nah, you're still low, bro. You're way too low. Try it again. You still low, brother. You still low.
I don't know if Spencer free agent. I know he got $3.5 million to fight the month, people. And I know. All right,
well, does he want the Crawford fight though? Does he want it?
And I know he need a date, and I know they got that. They're gonna do it big in 2019. Showtime has made a habit of rolling out shit early in the year or a specific time near the year when they're not hot. They're gonna roll some shit out early 2019, and they're gonna try to be hot off the Wilder Fury shit. And they got the Fox thing. Maybe the promoters and Heyman ain't speaking to the fighters because Kenny Porter did say, sometimes they don't just keep in contact with you. Sometimes you get a call to 2 nights in advance, and they say, hey, can you be at the airport and at so in New York all the way from Las Vegas to do a press conference? That was his word. So maybe it's not great communication, but they're taken care of at the end of the day. I can see how a fighter can get antsy. It's a big time job to be doing.
Once a year. They're fighting once a year. How are you getting taken care of? You're fighting once a year. Come on. Yeah,
you made $3 million. You made $3.5 million. Earl Spence is not worth $3.5 million, but you know what I'm saying? You didn't have to fight twice. But he wants to just because that's what he wants to do. But at the end of the day, that's going to come probably when the contracts for those, the Fox and the Showtime.
I'm sorry. What fight did he make $3.5 million? What fight?
Mike Peterson. Him and Mikey Garcia.
They keep saying that.
It says 1.2 already.
Errol Spence fought 2 times this year already, though. But that's what I keep forgetting. He already fought twice this year. But I do think he should have another fight.
That's not enough. Shakur Stevenson fought 5 times this year.
Yeah, he's a prospect.
Why we focus on how long they fighting? When they fight, they fighting. Like, you gotta understand, yeah. No one wants to work with Mayweather, right? It's not like these guys are opening the floodgates to work with these guys. This is what I'm gonna say to you. You don't understand how hard he has to work. People don't want to work with him. They don't like the idea he's promoting. They don't like the idea he's working Al Heyman. So these time when they're taking long to make the fights, it's because first and foremost they don't want to fight with him. Then when you find an opponent, if you get a opponent overseas, it costs more money to bring them in. Is it going to be competitive? Is it going to be TV savvy? Are they going to have a world belt? You understand what I'm saying? So when all this, that takes time. So you're arguing about when they fight, but when they fight, you enjoy it. In the meantime, you're watching other fighters run boxing. Don't be like don't be so much of a critic about, oh, they ain't fighting, but they ain't complaining. When they fight for a world title or not. And when they get the belt, then usually get active. You know what I mean? But like Tank should have been more active than he been. But he's arguing with Mayweather about some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Buddy Jack, when he was a title holder, he was busy, bro. You can't say Buddy Jack. Mickey Bay, right? Even when he got the title, I don't know what happened to Mickey Bay. Maybe he felt he made it. He didn't need to fight no more. So, end of the day, the onus is on the fighter and the situations around the fighter. But it's very hard when you get with Mayweather, even though he's good at bringing the attention towards you, in terms of the other promoters, look at, as you know, like it's not a cold war. But guys don't want to work with him. So you sit there and say, why are they fighting? They could fight. And listen, they could fight, right? The Mayweather's the caliber of guy. He don't want these fighters going in with bums every time. So he's looking for caliber opponents for the fight, and that's very hard because the caliber opponents want money. So you know what I'm gonna say? These are not easy negotiations. So this is, oh yeah, why are they only fighting her week? So they can have all bums every week.
Instead of
talking about them, I'm talking about the Al Heyman fighters that aren't fighting active.
Who didn't fight twice a year? What? Like who didn't?
Let's see. Did Charlo fight 2 times this year?
Okay, you can pick him. Who else?
Let's see. How many times did Hurd fight this year?
Got injured.
18.
He got injured. No, you can't pick Hurd. He got injured.
Yeah, that wasn't a real injury. Like Layra whooped his ass. That's what that was about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, come on. Give me more. Give me more. Like who is it that isn't fighting? Like,
Wilder.
He's in a fight for the second time this year. I agree. It took longer than it should have, but he's fulfilling the last part of the year, the fourth quarter. Okay, what else? What else?
Sean Porter had 1 fight this year.
Sean Porter had a broken hand until then he got had a messed up hand until
Danny Garcia. That's another one.
Fight.
Low players, you got to remember, everybody's getting injured. Everybody's getting injured.
Sean Porter and Kenny Porter said the doctor told them don't even use the damn hand. They couldn't.
Didn't he say that? Didn't he say that more? Didn't he say that like a long time ago though?
No, he said that after the fight that they weren't even supposed to be, that they were tentative about using the hand even going into the fight.
Right,
that they needed
I'll scrap Sean Porter. I'll let somebody else.
What about
Danny Garcia? What about Danny Garcia? Danny Garcia.
Twice this year. It wasn't. Yeah, he fought twice this year.
Oh yeah, Brandon Rio.
They rolled out that big carpet. They rolled out there. I can think of maybe Tank and maybe Charlo. Other than that,
it's more than that. What about Jamal James?
Who? Really?
Archie better be.
Jamal James, what about your nitpick? You're trying your best. Jamal James fights
he reaching now. He reaching now.
Yeah, he reaching. But you got a complaint that's really not a complaint. Everybody that you mentioned
he was like, what about Jamal Wilcox? I'm like, who the fuck is Jamal Wilcox?
On the real, Charlo sitting around being dictated to by Canelo and Golovkin. It's nothing Heyman can do for him.
Answer this question. Y'all need to. Why nobody want to answer this question? Why the fuck? Okay, why is it only Bud Crawford in his camp for the past year, the only ones that's taking steps towards trying to build this fight, creating like some type of,
Hey,
how come? And why is it that it's Errol Spence? Why is it that it's Errol Spence fanboys the ones that got to speak up for him because he's too afraid to speak for his fucking self?
What you say, EJ? EJ, what did you say?
I say your friend Hammond's back, bro. Your friend's Hammond. Your friend Hammond's back.
Yo. Who was that? Rock that just said there was Rock last season.
Hey, what about Jamel? You got Jamel.
Hey, I say this. Spence got up at that podium and spoke for himself and told you, dog.
Exactly.
If you
No,
wanted, he
no. He got on that podium. He got on that podium and he diffused the fucking situation. He tried to downplay the fight.
Situation.
He got on that podium. He got on that podium and explained to us why the fight shouldn't happen and why it would be hard for it to happen.
Exactly. Real deal. Errol Spence was born in 2000. You want to know how I know that? Because he in an interview he said in 2015 I was 15 years old. I won my first
I'm not gonna lie, man.
At the end of the day, he got up at the podium and mentioned names. You asked Crawford in the ring.
But look, but Lo, he mentioned Lo.
Let me just say this.
I want to see
Lo, instead of taking a step,
Hold on. No, I'm not
Go
saying.
ahead, bro.
I'm not saying that I don't agree.
Go ahead,
every word the man said at the podium. I don't remember every word, but I know I was glued to it because I was hearing this fight, this fight.
You were glued to it.
I don't mean anything.
So hold up. So it don't matter what he said. The fact that he didn't say shit, all you care about is that it was that you were anticipating him saying something. Dog, he didn't listen to me.
He said y'all hyping the dude up, basically.
Let me just
Bro, he downplayed the idea of the fight happening.
Exactly.
He downplayed the idea of the fight happening. He gave us reasons why. He gave us 10 minutes worth of excuses why the fight shouldn't happen.
Exactly.
He told you he ain't fighting on no app. That's what he told you.
Let me say this.
That's not what a fighter's supposed to say. Could you picture Mike Tyson saying, "Nah, I don't want to fight Holyfield"?
Hold up, y'all. One at a time. Wait. One at a time.
Hold up, Lo.
Wait. Black Lattes. Everybody, hold up. Black Lattes. Low. Everybody, one at a time. Okay, hold up, base. Wait, hold up. Lo had a question. Lo, ask your question.
Okay, you're talking about fighting on the app. You're talking about Al Heyman fighting on the app. When Al Heyman has been
we're talking about pay-per-view.
See, look.
That's what I'm getting to. You got an Al Heyman fighter that is being told to fight on the app when Al Heyman is one of the most successful pay-per-view givers to the fans of anybody.
Who said he was going to fight on the app? No, it was supposed to be pay-per-view.
Hold on. Let me finish. I'm asking you, what big fight has took place on an app?
It's
Which
not
one?
happening on an app. Are you done?
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm not fighting on no damn app.
Can I just say this, man? Low place. Earl Spence went up just like when Earl Spence went into the ring versus Porter, right? And said, "Oh, hey, sir, can I fight you?" And then after that said, "Okay, I'm looking to make a fight with Mikey Garcia." It's a contradiction. Just like when he stepped on the podium and was like, "Okay, Terrence Crawford's all smoke and mirrors. My speech right now, this shit is smoke and mirrors because
isn't he supposed to?
The smoke and mirror that you're not looking at is Crawford just fought an in-house fight.
Okay,
and that's what he's been doing through.
Hold on, and so has Spence.
Wait. Let Lo finish.
These guys are breaking tendencies.
Go ahead, Lo. Finish your point. Go ahead.
You're not gonna tell me these guys are breaking tendencies. I don't like the Garcia fight, but I also don't like a Diaz fight. Not a Diaz fight, but a Benavidez fight.
Okay, hold up. Lo, tell me this.
Any of them are in a hurry to make a fight. Just to be honest with
you. Hold up.
And I don't think
he's
in a hurry because he knows his side is way more deep than the
Hold up. Wait a minute. You don't feel like hold up. You don't think?
Wait, hold up, Ben. Hold up. Since C's get in first, and then Ben come back after C's. Go ahead.
Yo, what I'm saying is this. All right. For a year and a half, for a year at least, this guy's been saying he want to come up there and fight you, right? He want to unify the belts. Nevertheless, nobody's calling these guys out. Nobody's calling Boy Crawford out. So Boy Crawford has to not only step from the throne that he's sitting on, come down, talk to the peasants, and try to make a fight. The fact that they should be trying to dethrone him. They should be trying to overtake him. They should be trying to unseat him. They should try to take his crown, but they're not. They're not. They're treating him like he's the real boogeyman. Now that he's at 147.
Nobody's mentioning
it.
Now that he's at 147. You know how easily done that is for people on Al Heyman's camp. Keith Thurman, if he says I knocked out Spence, I knocked out Porter, I beat Porter and Garcia. I ain't talking about Bud Crawford. And that's the problem. You're acting like he's on a throne that is invincible and it's just that's at the top of the Hall of Fame. Man, that throne is questionable as hell. Okay, I respect that. Hey, he's got opportunity, but man, what's his name? Them Heyman fighters, they got opportunity after opportunity to make their resume look like balls.
Look, you're talking about opportunities that Spence has not gotten for 4 years.
And he just got in the ring face to face with another champion for the first time and requested the fight. That's what we need to be seeing happen.
He stepped on the podium. He stepped on the podium and said that the only way if Bud Crawford really wanted to fight me, he would have signed with PBC. Like, who says that? What fighter says that? That's a duck. That's a duck, dog.
Can I ask you a real question? Can I ask you a real question? Okay. Bud Crawford's last. Let's name Bud Crawford's last.
Oh my God! What are you talking about? Look, Timothy. Look. What are you talking about? Look. Okay, can you say this, bro? Can we agree on this? Both of these guys, right? They're obviously the creme de la creme. They're obviously the creme de la creme 147. They both can't find a fight, right? Now, one of those guys are trying to make a fight. One of these guys are trying to build a fight, trying to build energy to make this fight. And the other guy don't want to cooperate. This motherfucker went on vacation. Who goes on vacation? Who goes on vacation the night of the...
Listen to me, bro. Listen to me. Benavidez, Horn. That's the last 2 fights. Top rank had
2 of the biggest welterweights. Okay.
No. I'm not talking about the skills of them. I'm talking about Top Rank had ties to they had rights to Horn. They signed Benavidez Jr. They were signed with Postal. They look when they
it's okay for Top. So it's okay.
Let finish.
One second. When they bring in guys that are not tied to them, they got guys that aren't getting TV deals or got Ndongo, who was blessed to get a fight with Crawford. Diaz, who's blessed to get a fight. He
deserved it. He deserved that fight. He deserved that fight with Bud.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you it's the same way with Spence. I don't see any difference. Look, we can believe that this size won. Disbelieve. I'm looking at the track record. When Spence fought somebody outside of the PBC stable, it was a mandatory it was his shot. But he was nothing to nobody. He was blessed to be in there. But when you tell me he's calling out Porter and the people in his stable, I'm not shocked. It's easier to do business. We know that. So yeah.
Since when anything worth it? Since when that anything that's worth it in his life been about easy? Like, you can't let him cop out like that. And look, he's been there 4 years. Like,
it's 4 years.
He's been with PBC for 4 years. And
easy. I didn't see
they obviously don't want to fight him. They obviously don't want to fight this guy.
Hold on. I didn't see Crawford in the ring calling out Sean Porter. I'm just saying. That's not easy.
Dude, Crawford has said all those guys' names and said they want him. Those guys not even taking a step. They all acting the same way.
Why are you not in New York? You can go to Shreveport, Louisiana. You can go to Shreveport, Louisiana to see fucking Prograde, but you can't go to New York to see Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. What type of shit is that?
Hold on, wait a minute. So but the same could be applied, dog. But that's what I just said before you come off. When I said the shit I said about how the hell did Errol Spence, how are you going to pick that weekend to go on vacation, the same weekend that Bud Crawford's about to have his big fight, knowing that the fans have been trying to push and promote.
What big fight?
The ESPN fight, yes, the fight on ESPN that had 2.8 million.
So you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me him showing up at New York with the Charlos there, with Andre there, Big Baby there, all this event. He's running from the press and the media, and Crawford potentially showing up. Crawford need to be there. Nobody want to go to fucking.
Why does he? Hold up, low. Why does it? Hold up. See, you worrying about Omaha, but why the fuck? If you the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world, sitting on the throne, got the crown on your head, why the fuck do you need to? Shouldn't they be trying to come and dethrone you, overthrow you? Shouldn't it be that way? Why? Since when is the top fighter? Since when's the top fighter in the world, the consensus #1 fighter in the world? Since when that he has to do? Why does he have to make all the call outs? Shouldn't they be trying to? The fact that the PBC fighters.
I'm gonna give you 2 examples. I
don't want examples. I want to answer why.
Hold on. Floyd fought Sean Bay Mitchell in Portland, and he fought.
See, what is this? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Let him
Hold
finish.
on, bro. He fought these dudes in Portland, and he fought one in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Indu. You know how many people went to fucking Grand Rapids to see him fight? But you know how many people, Charlo, Canelo, Hurd, everybody was at Canelo Golovkin. Who wasn't there? Your guy. All right? So don't tell me everybody's running from.
That's not my guy. That's not my guy. That's the guy, man. No, that's the guy.
No place. Let me ask you something.
All right. What the guy was not there.
No place. Can I?
Yeah, the guy was not there. But I'll tell you this: he's done more. Bob Crawford.
Hold up.
My bad.
Cease, get in.
Okay, low place. Let me ask you something. Out of everybody that Earl Spence has called out, who has he fought? Crickets.
Hey,
No.
That's a praise. That's damn near praise. A champion having trouble getting guys in the ring, but now you're at a point where him and Sean Porter face to face, and Sean Porter has said, "I know the fans want it, and I want to give it to him, and I want to see it." But you're pushing against that.
No. Okay, hold on. I got a better question. Who do you think? Who do you think want to fight each other more? Who out of the two guys? Who wants to fight more right now, as of today, right now? Thursday, Bud Crawford, Errol Spence. Who's tried? Who wants to fight more?
I think Crawford's more desperate. I think they would love
desperate.
That's
you calling a pound for pound king desperate? Yeah, you're right. He is desperate. He's desperate to make big fights. He want to unify, but the three fighters at the PPC are holding those belts hostage.
Bruh, he signed to the Candy Crush Plus app with no big name.
Nah, dog. 2.8 million. Almost 3 million. Almost 3 million versus Jose Benavidez.
I fuck with Charlo, but he got no position if he just stay. He got to do like Jacobs did. He gotta find somebody and let Al Heyman touch him.
Wait. You can't
just be on the side saying I'm getting ducked.
Low place. You can't bring up Danny Jacobs in the same conversation because he signed up with DAZN too, and that's a Candy Crush.
That's what I said. Canelo's on DAZN. Do you not know they're talking about Jacobs and Canelo after the fielding fight? If Jacobs beats his guy.
Let me just say this, low place. So since Spence is not getting the fights on the PBC side of the correct side of the street, as he puts it, but he's not fighting anyone, shouldn't he now just pick
two times a year and he just got in the ring face to face with a champion?
You keep bringing up that Sean Porter shit. You bringing up that Sean Porter shit.
No. And I'm gonna tell you why you're not bringing it up. You're not bringing it up because you want to put Terrence Crawford in the mix and you want to forget that that's a unification.
In the mix? Whoa, he's the pound for pound number one fighter in the world. And he just proved to sell. He just proved to be a good seller, Lo. He just proved to be a good seller.
Sean Porter should be forgotten about. Sean Porter should be forgotten about.
He's got a better record than Errol Spence. He got a better resume than Errol Spence. Why should he be forgotten about?
Sean Porter, who's fought Keith Thurman, Kell Brook, Danny Garcia, and soon to be Earl Spence because Terrence Crawford has his
and Devin Alexander, and Adrian Broner, and more guys than that.
Yeah, I forgot. Even more. And you telling me to forget about him for Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford has his name on.
No, I don't want to forget about Sean Porter. What I'm saying is it's obvious that Keith Thurman and Sean Porter, they don't want to fight him, dog. They don't want to fight him. You want him to sit there with his hands up his ass like they don't want to fight him, Lo. Why not fight somebody that's making it seem like they want to fight you?
He'll make the fight. He said it out his mouth. As a fan, when Canelo don't want to fight people, and even if it's true that he don't want it, when Canelo don't want to fight people, we push him.
Yeah,
so you're okay with him avoiding? You're okay with Errol Spence avoiding Bud Crawford? Is what you're saying?
I'm grateful. I got a problem with people trying to forget this matchup just because it's a little bitty doubt in it. But anytime it's a little bitty doubt, let's say it's a little bitty doubt in Lomachenko Rigondeaux. Y'all would say, "Oh, Lomachenko's avoiding." When you talk about it until he got it. Do the same thing with Porter and Spence. But no, the reason why you won't is because Terrence Crawford's name is on it.
What's the hottest fight right now? What fight will garner more? What fight will make more money? What fight will make more money? What fight will make more money at the gate? What fight will make more money pay-per-view? Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence or Errol Spence versus Porter? What's a bigger fight?
What do you want to see? Which fight do you want to see?
If you knew the things that I did for money, if you knew the things I did for money, You understand?
Oh, I
why
don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I'm worried about.
No,
Hold on. I'm worried about them.
he's making
I'm
an
worried about
example.
the
He
great
said
fight.
that he's talking about like what fight do you want to see? If he's talking about what stuff I
What's
would
the
do for
bigger
money.
fight
Look, can I just say something?
that the
man?
fans want to see? What's the bigger fight that the fans want to see?
Okay, let Obias get in.
Yeah, low place. I hear you. Sean Porter's resume is good. That's great. I mean, that's fine and
Better
dandy.
than Terrence Crawford's by
Okay,
far.
hold on. Let me just
Better than Errol Spence too.
speak.
Damn right. That's why he needs to fight him and beat him.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool that his resume is good, right? But look, he doesn't want to fight Spence. Now, Crawford wants to fight Spence, or
You have not heard that.
Exactly, bro.
gestures to
Where have you heard that? Where have you heard that?
Hey, you want to know how I know?
Oh my
You-
God.
Where have you heard
Lopez,
that the man got in the ring and called him out and he said, "Let's do it."
Hey, Lopez,
And instead of
never
accepting
said, "Let's
that, you
do
know
it."
that
Lopez.
they're going down
No.
with that.
Hey,
Lopez,
Lopez,
look,
you want to know
look.
how I know?
Hold on.
Because when he got in the ring, when he got in the ring, Errol Spence said, "Hey, we should fight." And then Sean Porter said, "Hey, y'all want to see it?" He said, "Yeah, that fight can be easy to make." He went straight to the press conference talking about something that fight probably ain't gonna happen next.
Yep.
Well,
He said WBC might have other plans for me.
Hold on. So boxing fans hear a little bit of doubt now, and they quit asking for the
No,
fight.
no,
That's
please.
not what we normally
No.
do, and the reason we're
No,
doing it
we're talking about there's levels to this shit, Lo. Certain fights are placed above
Yeah,
others.
this is the level.
Certain
This
fights
is
are
the level. This is
certain
the level.
fights are placed
Sometimes they
above
gonna get
others.
that ass a date
Name
unless
a
you
fight.
fucking
Name a
offend.
fight at welterweight bigger than Buck Crawford versus Errol Spence. Name one,
This
Lo.
is the-
Name a
this
fight
is
at
the level.
welterweight currently
This
right
is the
now.
level. For me, or
Yeah.
you talking about just for people who suck up list? For me,
It's not about suck up this. We're talking about the best fight that could be made, skill wise, talent wise, fame wise.
The best fight that could be made right now.
At welterweight, at welterweight.
Kell Brook versus
You
Terrence
seen them face
Crawford.
to face already. Sean Porter and Earl Spence. That's the best fight that
Man,
can be
Oh,
made.
you ever seen Ghost Dad? You seen the movie Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby? Y'all seen
I've
that
been
movie
saying
Ghost
that.
Dad with Bill Cosby?
Listen,
I mean,
Hey,
come
when,
on.
you remember when he choked that
I've been
dude through the
saying
phone? I want to choke low through the fucking phone.
Bro,
Right now,
you
dog.
don't know if Crawford can fuck with a Sean Porter, dog. That nigga's tried and tested. That nigga's a
All right, guys, I gotta end
Oh,
this right
look,
here. I gotta
look.
end- Wait,
I'll
hold on,
do.
Leslie's. Hold on,
Dude.
guys. Leslie's, I gotta end this right here. I'm gonna go ahead, EJ. Go ahead, man.
All right, so on in Twitter, Steve Espinosa is firing back against Oscar De La Hoya, saying that some of these promoters are salty, and then Steve Espinosa basically saying, "Like, oh, why are we salty? We've been live streaming for a week. We've live streamed loads of stuff, yeah, but we
Yeah.
also have pay-per-views and stuff." So it was interesting to see that. Obviously, the war has begun now. Oscar De La Hoya now is on the zone. He start talking shit. Stephen Nestor is
exactly.
firing back. So some
Right.
interesting stuff.
Right. What they're trying to do is they're trying to push out this narrative that pay-per-views is no longer the model. So they're trying to change the narrative that fans should not be buying pay-per-view fights. To me, that's a strategy to undermine Wilder versus Fury, which is a pay-per-view fight coming up. That's what they're trying to do. And to me, I don't like that. It's like, okay, you're trying to undermine a pay-per-view fight coming up. This is the timing of the statement. It's like, we sign on the zone. This is where the money's at. Well, I'm not sure about that now because the zone is going to get their investment for Canelo. That's what it looks like to me. When they can't get their investment, do you think they're going to put out that big money again for another fighter? Like Canelo Alvarez, for example?
No.
Are they going to do that? They're going to risk doing that? I don't think so.
Let this shit ride out, man. We'll close. Let this shit ride out. Don't go offline. We'll close it up. Shit. Well,
All right, y'all close it up then. Y'all close it up.
Look,
Let this shit ride out.
look.
I'm gonna say this. Look, man. Oscar De La Hoya, all these dudes, they gotta be envious of PBC until they make it. They got too much talent, too many names. They gotta draw you away. They have to draw you away from that. Nobody else has the names. Yes, they have some struggles with dates because they got so much fucking going on. So when you can nitpick one thing, you hope that one thing falls your way. But most of the time it don't. Al Heyman pay these people $3.5 million for a fight to sit in place, and they listen and they do it. All right? So until it happens, they some haters, and they need to be because it's business and they ain't on their side, so they need to be.
I want to see good fights, Lou. I want to see good fights. I don't care about 3.5 million and all that other. I want to see good fights. I want to see these guys active, man.
I'm pushing for Sean Porter.
I do too. So hold up, right? You pushing for Sean Porter, Errol Spence. That's the fight that you want to see. But could you at least admit the consensus agreement that the best and most popular fight and the biggest fight that could be made right now at 147 is Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence?
My consensus is common sense, not a guy that just
No, not your consensus. I mean, just the overall.
All right, let's get off this right now, y'all. Let's get it off right now. I would like to say this though, real quickly before I go. I just want to say though, this Cold War has started with the networks again, with this zone coming in. That's what it looks like to me. Would you agree, EJ? Do you think this is about this is the Cold War again? And some people are going to say, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, well, I look at it like this, yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, like Al Heyman's Fox Still's going to kick him. We're going to see how that's going to work. But ultimately, if there's enough money around the table, these guys will fight. So Errol Spence and Crawford and whatever matchup you do. To be fair, I think if they fight that right now, I don't think they're earning that much. I just don't think like they've done anything apart from themselves to build a fight to when we see. I know I want to see the fight, but I don't think it's big enough like Deontay Wilder and Fury. I don't think it's on that level or Joshua, because that's a rave of a necessity. That's the one what people are salivating for. Well, so all the fights we're talking about, we want to see them as a fight fan. But I'm gonna put this out, and this is what I'm gonna end on, right? I talked to Hakeem years ago, right? Or his name was Saad at the time, and he said to me, I want to see the Manny Pacquiao fight versus Floyd. I go, why? And he goes, oh no, I just want to see it. I go, it might not be a good fight. No, but what? Because people getting caught up with, I want to see the fight, but we don't know it's going to be a good fight. No one knew that Marco Antonio Barrera versus Eric Morales is going to be a great fight. No one knew that Badu Jackson and Donna Stevens is going to be a great fight. So you want to see the matchups, but there's no guarantee it's going to be a great fight. So all I say to you guys is that we want these fights and this and that, but there's some fights under shadow. There's like in a way fighting, the World Boxer Series, but we're arguing about stuff that when it actually happens, you're gonna get let down because you're building it up to be something that it probably ain't never gonna be. Errol Spence and Crawford probably ain't gonna be what it is. Maybe Fury and Wilder's not gonna be what it is. Sometimes we hope they are, but there's no guarantee. Because people are not on the line. So my 1 minute. So my whole thing is this, right? I understand when you guys are pushing certain things and trying to push certain fights, but guaranteed there's some fights that go underneath the radar, and you look back at the end of the year, you go, you know what? That fight was predicted to do that good. Like, I remember like Golovkin and Canelo Ross. That fight was whack, but the second one was like, oh yeah, that was better. But like, look at the expectation for the first fight. So you never know. Like, you never know that these fights going to be that good. So,
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point because Holyfield and Bo, nobody expected that to be a great trilogy. So that was under the radar heavyweight fight.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a good point, but at the same time, people are paying good money to invest to see if they can get something out of it. But let's be fair, though. Fights that have drawn out for a long time, like Hagler and Leonard. That was a fight that was supposed to be made 5 years in the making before they made it in 87. They would talk about that fight in 82, and that turned out to be a great fight. Hagler and Leonard.
Yeah, how good was that fight compared to Hagler and Hunt?
No, what I'm saying is, bruh.
Yeah, I know. I understand about the long term, but it doesn't guarantee that it's going to be a great fight. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to play out.
But it turned out to be a great fight.
Right, but you hold on, but you guys, right? But look, even if the fight, but look, regardless if the fight turns out the way we want it to be, we're the fans. We should be able to dictate what we want to see, right? Yeah. So if we want to see Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence, that's what we want to see. Errol Spence had no right jumping on that fucking podium and telling the fans, "Oh, at first y'all wanted me to fight Keith Thurman, and now y'all saying y'all want me to fight Bud Crawford." But when Keith Thurman comes back, y'all gonna forget about Bud. He said y'all gonna forget about Bud Crawford, and y'all gonna want me to fight Keith Thurman. He stepped on the podium
to tell you how the human mind works.
He's shitting on his fans. He's shitting on his fans, dog. Nah, dog.
He's telling you the truth, dog. If Keith Thurman comes back,
Errol Spence doesn't have. Errol Spence doesn't have the accomplishments. The reason why he's on the plateau and he's on the stage that he's at is because the fans pushed him there. His fans pushed him there. He don't have the accomplishments.
Hold on. Let me get back.
Not a one titleist that looks dominant.
All right, hold up, y'all. Let
me get back to the fans of pushing it, right?
Okay.
He's a title holder, nothing more, nothing less. He's a title holder, just like the rest of them.
I've never known fans, control the destination of a fighter and a promoter. It's never happened. What it is, the fact the promoter looks on the numbers saying, I think the fans might enjoy this fight, but fans are fickle. I mean, we're boxing experts, right? So we sit down and say, these are the fights we want to happen, but the majority are casual fans. And I'll be honest with you, when I go to shows, all the casual fan cares about is their guy wins and they go home happy. So they're the
that's casual, right?
So the majority are casual. So whatever we're trying to push or the fight we want, it ain't gonna happen. Like they do things when they ready to fight or when there's timing. As you see, there's timing and there's the they wait around to see if this guy's looking down. That's how people fights are made, when a guy looks like he's slipping, or a guy on the way down, or when you're on the way up. These are how fights are made, and that's what they're waiting for.
Well, you know what? Well, you know what, EJ? Well, EJ, it's bad enough that Bud Crawford's been trying to trying to build his fight, and he's doing it by himself. His team is doing it by himself because Errol Spence don't want to play ball. Errol Spence is more concerned. He stepped on the podium and told you what he wants to do. He want to fight Keith Thurman, and he want to fight Sean Porter.
Yeah,
and he want to fight the people. See, because it's easy. What I'm saying is, meanwhile, he's been there 4 years. Hold up, but those guys are not doing nothing. Those guys are no, they don't want to fight him.
You know why?
They don't want to fight him. Why?
You know why?
I'm glad he's reasonable.
You know why? Hey, you know why he wants to fight Keith Thurman? Because the same reason why Keith Thurman wants to fight Mayweather. Why do you think that was? Because he's the biggest payday. That's all this is about. You understand?
No, that's not a bigger payday than Bud Crawford. That's not a bigger payday.
Well, after wait, let's see, he has a point though. Before Crawford came in, Thurman was not only the lower risk compared for Spence, but he was the big payday. That is a fact. The EJ is correct to say that.
We're talking about now, but damn, we're talking about now.
Listen, bro. I'm trying to tell you, this is what the game is, right? It's about money, right? This is what it's about: money, pay-per-view sales, and that. It's all they're fighting for. Don't care about what they want great fights. It don't pay the bills. All they care about is, at the end of the day, how much I'm gonna get paid to fight this guy. Is it worth my while? If it ain't worth my while, I ain't fighting him. That's why these fights are not getting made. Guaranteed.
So hold on. So how is Bud Crawford not worth his while?
Bud Crawford what? Bud Crawford
how is Bud Crawford?
He's not a big draw. He's not a big draw.
Yes, he is. Oh,
he's not a big draw.
In Nebraska.
Yeah,
in Nebraska.
Yes, he is.
This feel like a yo.
Yes,
in Nebraska, he's big, but he ain't big.
No, he just made 2 points. Okay.
You didn't just see his
Wait, EJ.
Listen.
You see what I mean, Dan? This is when the bias shit start coming in. This is the bias shit right here.
Hold on. Let EJ finish. I'm not go.
All right, let me explain when I say he's not a big draw. He's not a big draw like Spencer's not a big draw. They're building up their market. That's what he's doing. He's building himself up. Just building up his fan base. He's not a draw like Pacquiao. If he's on the Pacquiao level, fights happening. He's not that. That's what he wanted. Why do you think
nobody's on that level besides like
why you think Bud wanted Pacquiao? Because when you beat Pacquiao, you've made it. Why do you think Mayweather wanted Toro Gatti? Why do you think he wanted Dazn La Hoya? Because these guys, when you beat them, you're already in a pay-per-view market. Because Pacquiao's fights are pay-per-view. So this is what it's about. It's about drawing. When I mean draw, I'm talking about pay-per-view buys.
Right.
So what you need, right? You need to knock that guy off. When you knock 1 minute, you knock the guy off, and then you become that guy. That's why you need certain guys. So your volume, so your money is like getting a belt. When you're a fighter, why do you think fighters go for certain belts?
But this is the biggest fight.
This is all about. This is all about.
This is the biggest fight that could be made. You talking about money, and you talking about this and that. This is the biggest fight that could be made. And it's a pay-per-view fight.
Which is the biggest fight?
For both of those fighters in their career.
Which is the biggest fight?
Bud Crawford versus that's the biggest fight for those two.
It's not big enough. It's not big enough right now. That's why it's not happening.
Yes, it is.
Okay, when will it be big enough? When Bud Crawford's 34 and Errol Spence 32? When is it going to be big enough?
Wait, y'all. Let EJ finish. Let EJ finish. Go ahead, EJ.
It'll be big enough, yeah. It'll be big enough, yeah. It'll be big enough when they knock off a pay-per-view star. Hopefully he gets the Pacquiao fight. I don't know if Pacquiao wants to fight it, but if he knocks out a Pacquiao fight, yeah, bro. Because now you're in
the winner will be a pay-per-view star. Bud versus Errol. You think the winner won't be a pay-per-view star?
You're strong enough. Look, bro, you got to understand, right? I'll put this like this, right? Is he a bigger star than Lomachenko? Bud Crawford?
Yes.
Why is he? I don't think he is.
What? Accomplishments? Winning awards?
I don't think he is. I think Lomachenko right now, you could do a pay-per-view with Lomachenko against anyone. I think it would sell pretty decently. I don't think Bud is in a position right now. And what I'm trying to say to you is that it's all about.
He just had the most views of any combat.
I'm trying to tell you why the fight hasn't happened right now is simply because what I'm trying to tell you. It's to do with the money, or it's not worth it. It's not worth them fighting each other when they don't feel like they're going to earn the money. That's why they're not fighting. And I understand.
When will it be worth it? When will it be worth it? Consider that Errol Spence can't find a fight. When will it be worth it? Errol Spence is playing the victim role. He can't find a fight. He don't want to go up in weight. He's about to be 30 years old. He don't want to go up in weight. He's constantly the victim. It's everybody else's fault. It's Sean Porter's fault. It's Keith Thurman's fault. It's Bud Crawford's fight.
You don't want him.
They don't
want
to fight. He don't.
It's not that he can't.
He don't want to fight Bud Crawford, dog, and you don't want to admit it.
Ignoring a call out. Boxing fans ignoring a unification call out for a hopeful whim that they can work.
1 minute. One minute. I feel
But Bud Crawford want to unify too. Bud Crawford wants to unify.
All right, I'm about to go. Hold on.
Hold on, Dan. Hold on, don't pull the plug, Dan. Dan, don't pull the plug, baby.
Bud Crawford ain't calling Terrence Crawford all out. I mean, excuse me, why he ain't calling Sean Porter all out? Since he's so willing to work.
He said he won them all, bro. He said he won them all.
Bud Crawford, at the end of his fight, the fight that happened, the fight that's replaying right now on ESPN2 right now, that fight is being played. After that fight, when he got interviewed, when he got interviewed, he said he wanted to unify.
My last point, Latin. I told you it's all about timing. When a guy's coming down or a guy looks shady, don't look good, then they fight. That's what it is. And then because that's not happening, there's no slippages. They're like, bro, this is a dangerous fight.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on EJ. That's what Spence is doing to Crawford. That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, that's all this was happening here. You can't understand why.
Yeah, exactly what he's doing. I know Ho don't believe that. Ho doesn't believe that, but that's a fact.
The dude who's trying to go to war with Sean Porter, who will headbutt you, put cuts all over your face, is worried about Crawford's health as he fights the shot leg Benavidez. That makes no sense.
He is worried about it.
I tell you what. You could downplay. Look, you could downplay every accomplishment. You could downplay every accomplishment Bud Crawford has. But guess what? No matter how low, no matter how much you downplay it, he still have 10 times more accomplishments than Errol Spence will ever have.
I'm telling you to look at this and really tell me this. Like really, a dude who is worried about somebody else slipping is about to fight, is trying to fight, and probably going to get a fight with a dude who cuts everybody's face up and beats the hell out of him all night, makes him work, while he's worried about a guy slipping as he fights a dude with a bullet in his knee. It makes no damn sense, dog. It makes no logical sense.
Well, that's what Spence
look, all I hear is every time I try to debate Errol Spence fanboy, not Errol Spence fanboy, Errol Spence fanboy, all they do is deflect and come with excuses when you hit them with facts. That's all they got, dog. It's like talking to a female. It's like talking to a thought.
We'll continue this. We'll continue this another day. Hey, Steve, we'll continue this another day. This is a good discussion. But I'm just have to say this. I'm going to give my closing arguments. Errol Spence has made any indication that he's waiting for Terrence Crawford to slow down. Because the reason why his demeanor changes every time the name Crawford comes up. When it comes to other fighters, he's very adamant saying, I'm going to fight you right away. But not with Crawford for some reason. Like EJ's point, that's an indication that he's waiting for that man to slow down because he can't pinpoint any of his weaknesses right now. But anyways,
right.
Good chat, Ron. It's a good chat.
Dan, I got a question for you, Dan.
Hold on. I gotta go, man. I gotta go, bro. I wish I could take it, bro, but I gotta go.
What fight you want to see, bro? What fight you want to see?
I want to see Crawford versus Spence. That's what I want to see.
Thank you. That's all I want to know.
All right, it's good chat with y'all, man. As always, EJ, Battle, I'm biased. Low Places, welcome back, Low Places. It's been a long time since you were gone, man. Glad to have you back. Even though we have
welcome back, Low.
EJ, who else was in here? So who was in here a second ago? Rock 89 and all the commenters in the comment section. I can't name you guys because I got to get out. But hey, it's great talking to you guys. I'll be back next time. Until we out. Peace.
Peace.